We are wrestling.
Olympic hero Kurt Angle, and you're listening to the We Are Wrestling Podcast. We Are Wrestling Podcast.
Hey everybody, Eric Bischoff here, and you are listening to We Are Wrestling Podcast.
You're watching We Are Wrestling.
I'm the host with the most.
You are by far the least intelligent. Stay tuned, listen to the podcast. Best one, Donnie, might teach you a thing or two.
What is going on, We Are Wrestling Maniacs Worldwide? Ben here, one half of the We Are Wrestling Podcast.
If you ain't listening to the We Are Wrestling Podcast, bro, you're missing out. The king listens, and you need to too, bro.
Ricky knows best, ladies and gentlemen. Ricky knows best. Believe in me. God bless you.
We Are Wrestling Podcast.
We are wrestling.
What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host with the most, Mr. We Are Wrestling himself, the best one, Donnie, here with...
What is going on? We Are Wrestling Maniacs Worldwide. It is Ben, Uncle Ben, America's favorite uncle in wrestling's punching bag. Back at it again today with an exciting episode 103 of We Are Wrestling Podcast, and it is a stacked one for y'all. But if you noticed, Best One Don is wearing a piece of wrestling merchandise, but we can't tell what it is. And I'm pretty sure if you guys saw Dynamite on Wednesday, you understand where we're going. But before we get into all of that fun, wacky-dacky shit, Don, take it away, my pal.
You would think after WrestleMania, all the stress would be gone. But it's not. We have a very stressful episode of this week of the We Are Wrestling Podcast. And before we dive into all the stressful, good bullshit this week, if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already and you're listening to this episode and you can't see my hat, give us a 5-star review, not just any review, a best one review, and follow and download the episode. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already over on the YouTube channel and you're not a part of the thousands of subscribers, we recommend you to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. Videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO, and of course you already know, the grind is real.
I don't know what to say, so I just made a weird fucking sound. But before we get into the podcast this week, I do have an announcement. The main event is hella messy, and I just wanted to announce that this is the happiest day of my life. We get to talk about the truth for once. I've been spouting since fucking day one, and it is a helpless subject that nobody can make excuses for, bitch. So I'm going to love every single moment of this episode. But now, Don, how was your week?
I gotta ask you real quick.
What's up?
Why are you so happy about AEW's downfall? I'm just very curious to know.
I'm just happy that we finally get to truthfully talk about what I've been saying since day fucking one. That's all it has to do with. I'm not talking about a downfall. I'm just talking about let's cut the bullshit and let's talk about the issue. That's it. And there's no way to backpedal or make excuses for this person anymore. Now we get to just fucking talk about it in its gloriousness, and it's going to be juicy because this is what I've been waiting for. It's authentic criticism that needs to be heard.
Oh, it's definitely going to be more than criticism when we get to the main event. And I think we're teasing you guys a little too much right now. So you are going to have to wait until the main event topic so that we talk about it. But for now, let me just switch my hat until we get to the main event. Might as well do that.
That was clean.
Because I don't really want to talk about All Elite Wrestling right now, which, by the way, to all the maniacs, if you haven't checked out the latest episode of Hot Takes, I re-uploaded it because Tony Khan is a fucking cocksucker, and It's out there, and he can't block it this time because there's no footage of me reacting to it. So, joke's on you, Tony Khan, for trying to cancel We Are Wrestling. It's not happening.
So, buddy, how's that selfie with Tony Khan aging for you?
Ooh, give me 1 second. I have a good idea.
Okay. Oh, is he gonna burn it live? Is he gonna burn it live? Oh shit! Oh shit! Nah, we ain't like that out here. We ain't like that. We ain't like that. I'm not. At least I don't know if we are. I don't know what's happening right now, but he brought out the plate, the metal plate with.
All
the
right,
selfie
so
on it.
for Christmas, guys, I think this was a couple years ago. I got this metal plate of a selfie with me and Tony Khan. Thank you, Dad, for the Christmas gift. But Tony
Is that
Khan,
an actual Sharpie?
an actual Sharpie. We're gonna put an X right on his head, right there. There it is. Yep.
Oh my god! I guess we are that petty, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, we are. Tony Khan, oh my goodness. You guys don't, if you guys really want to know how I feel about it and you don't want to wait for the main event, go check out Hot Takes episode 40. Highly encourage you to do that if you haven't already, but wait until after the weekend to do that.
Wow.
Well, it's been a shitty week for me because besides WWE has really made the week somewhat better. But with all the bullshit going on with AEW, it's really made me fucking depressed, Dad. Really depressed.
It's making you depressed, but it's like nourishing every fiber in my soul because everybody has made a fucking excuse for this guy and they finally can't. They finally can't. And I'm just like, oh, finally, I get my moment. I fucking get my moment. I feel like the apex predator just forcing out of my skin right now. That shit that I just been wanting to unleash upon the world unshamefully is finally surfacing. So I'm excited. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go, bitch. I'm so excited.
I will say one good thing that did happen this week, though, for me. I found out that Funko Pops, they announced Rocket Power Pops, so I'm very excited about that. And a Jimmy Neutron, so I'm very excited about that, being a huge Nickelodeon fan.
Which Rocket Power characters?
So there's going to be 2 Rocket Power characters in this line, Otto and Reggie.
Where I can respect that, I would have totally traded out Reggie for either Twister or honestly Raymundo.
Dude, I feel like we're going to get more down the line, but I've been wanting these for the last 5 years. So now that they actually made them, I will say it's definitely made the week a little better than what it's been like, because you would think after Cody Rhodes finished the story, it's a happy ending. Everything is going to be so good in professional wrestling, but it's not. It's not good in professional. I'm just going to wait for the main event. All right, Ben, what's your highlight of the week?
I got 3. I have one big one, but I have 3. So one of the highlights of the week is I tattooed Old School Phil. Yeah, I tattooed Old School Phil, and I'm pretty sure in post-production you're probably going to see a picture of the tattoo itself. It's the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes symbol, along with 4724 and XL for the WrestleMania that he actually attended, night 2. He was there in person. He got to be there, a part of history, along with 100,000 some odd people in the whole weekend itself. Got to witness the greatest probably top 3 greatest WrestleManias of all time. So that was probably my biggest highlight. Yeah, biggest highlight of the week, honestly, was being able to do that permanently on somebody's body to help be a part of that history in some way. And being a part of the Blitzkrieg history and knowing Phil. So it's it was special, it felt special in that way. And I don't do them often, and it felt really good.
I love that. And I told Phil to do one thing when he was out there, and that was to record his genuine reaction to when Cody finished the story. And he even acknowledged me on one of his latest posts pretty much saying that he didn't understand at first why I wanted him to do that. But then looking back at the video now, he realizes it. And that's something that through the years of being a content creator is something I've learned. And sometimes people ask me, why are you recording yourself in this moment? Because I want to look back at my genuine reaction years from now and see how I felt about it. Because I remember WrestleMania 39, last year's WrestleMania, how pissed off we were when Cody Rhodes didn't finish the story. And it's crazy to look back now and say, you know something? We were wrong in that situation last year. It wasn't the right time, because everything that we got this past weekend, it all felt right. Because like I always say, in this business, timing is everything.
Bro, he went through trials. He went through hardships. He beat the entire fucking roster. It felt like, he made friends along the way. And through that time, he formed every single solid friendship needed to get the job done. And everybody else that came out to celebrate him were victims of the bloodline in some way, and also his peers and the people that had watched him start in general from the very first moment all the way up to this moment that eluded his family this entire time. So it wasn't less of anything historical. And, him losing last year didn't make sense at the time. And we were all very angry and crushed by it. But, looking back at it now, it really wasn't shit. It needed this second leg. And this proved it, because we were able to tell a hard time story, and that's exactly what we wanted. And our reaction, man, the 1, 2, 3 count, and the reception afterwards, and how we resonated with it and how we responded, just kind of, it tells the tale of its own,
And that's the thing too, like when it comes to really, really happy moments in my life, I don't cry a lot. And that moment right there with Cody Rhodes, I bawled my eyes out with you during that moment. And man, what a special weekend it was for WrestleMania. And I'm so glad Phil was able to be there during night 2 and record his genuine reaction.
I'm really happy about it too, because again, like as you stated, a second ago, being a content creator, it's a gift, especially when you do reactions, because you get to relive that moment and what it felt like being present in that moment during such a historical moment in time, and to have that forever is a blessing, because, the people in the room that you share that with might not be here one day. So you can always go back and look back at that and remember how fucking happy and the feeling you felt, and you get to relive it once more every single time you watch it.
And that's the thing, the reason why I love doing my weekly reactions here on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel, because I just love just seeing if I'm wrong about something, because a lot of the times I love the fantasy book. I love to see if my way would be better than Triple H's way, or my way is always better than Tony Khan's way. But I just love just genuine reactions to certain defining moments, because you just never know what's going to happen. I do apologize to the Maniacs for not having Dynamite reactions out this week.
It won't happen.
It won't happen. Instead, you can watch Hot Takes episode 40. What's your second highlight of the week?
My second highlight of the week was obviously Cody finishing his story. 100% was Cody finishing his story. Again, we just laid that out. It was a moment in time that it didn't make sense at the moment, but coming full circle and watching it as it all plays out. And, even again, like I wasn't even bawling my eyes out solely on Cody, winning. I was kind of bawling my eyes out knowing that Roman lost. It's like, we talked about it for so long. We wanted to happen. We bitched about it. We moaned about it. We complained about it. We were fucking Cody crybabies over it. But it was heartbreaking after. The after was so heartbreaking when you realized we're really in a new era. That 3 years is done. That watch per se is over. And it just, you never realize how grateful you are to somebody until they're gone for a little bit, you know? So
Mhm.
where I'm going to give my flowers to Cody Rhodes, I'm also going to give it to Roman Reigns.
Which later on in this week's episode for the Getting Put Over segment, we are acknowledging our tribal chief. And what's your third highlight of the week?
My third highlight of the week, and I know it's for storyline purposes, but honestly, it was seeing Jey Uso win number one contender for the World Heavyweight title and seeing him in main event pictures, you know, and seeing that he will inevitably be a world champion soon, you know, easily within the next foreseeable couple of years, he will be a world champion for sure. And I think that just seeing the glimpses of that, you know, I think it's super important, and I'm really excited about it. You know, I'm excited for his future. I've always been a day one Jey Uso fan, so
I'm
it's always
excited to
good
see
seeing
where
him.
I will say I am excited to see where that goes, because there's so many opportunities that they can do here. This will be
Jey and
Damian
Drew, too.
Priest's first feud with the World Championship. I really hope that we don't get the same situation that we've gotten multiple times with Jimmy costing Jey his championship matches. I really hope
He's
that
not.
maybe they can have the Judgment Day cost him, and we can continue the feud going on with Jey and Damian. Let's make this into something. I'm very
'Cause
curious to
here's-
see where this goes, because it's weird not having Seth Rollins as champion. I can't believe
It
I'm
is
saying
weird.
that.
Especially since he was the inaugural. You can't see anybody else, you know? So when it finally comes time to pass the baton, so to speak, it's hard. It's hard. It's almost like denial, and it still hasn't hit you yet until you've seen it a few times. Then it starts to get easier. I'm happy for Damian Priest,
Me
but
too.
realistically, whatever could happen at Backlash with Jey, Drew could really screw anybody here. Like, he could fucking screw Damian, or he could screw Jey. And then CM Punk could be involved somehow. And that's something I love about this era in WWE. I want to put this out here as well. When people got injured back in the day, we never saw them again until they came back. I love that they have kept CM Punk like working, like not necessarily getting physical, but him like prominent on TV enough to keep him relevant and to keep the ratings boosting, and to have him still have fun and not have to just sit back at home for, you know, another few months. And it's
His
allowing him to
presence
be
is
happy,
definitely well worth
felt.
it.
And I love that he's having fun. Like, he's genuinely having a good fucking time. Like, I don't think Drew genuinely hates CM Punk at all. Like, I genuinely think that they're actually pretty good friends behind the scene. And that's me just thinking that. Like, I actually think that they respect the fuck out of each other behind the scenes. But, you know, I love that they're actually allowing him to stay on TV and to continue to work. And that has helped the fan base and just the WWE universe significantly, because whenever somebody was out, dude, they took that fucking hit, and you could tell they're taking a hit. So the fact that they've been able to work something in there to keep the feud building when he comes back, phenomenal.
Oh, it's brilliant. I love this new WWE with multiple storylines. It makes everybody feel important, and
all
I just
makes
love the way
sense.
they've done it.
Even the dumb ones make sense. At least it makes sense, you know? Fuck.
We can't say on the opposite channel.
I know, but
I
still,
can't
like,
wait to talk about that in the main event.
I love how you keep cooking the main event. Like, you keep cooking it. You keep talking about it.
This is going to be probably one of the best main event topics of all time.
Listen, we'll
Just
get
wanna
there,
put that out
motherfucker. We got a lot of good shit to talk about, so we'll
we have
get
a lot
there.
of good shit. But let me
main
get
event, motherfucker.
let me get into my highlight of the week, and it's got to be WrestleMania weekend, because I just really enjoyed this weekend. I had so much fun recording content with everybody, because we do have some videos that are going to be coming out soon. Huh?
I would have said that too, but I thought we were being specific. We were like, nah, WrestleMania in a fucking hole. I would have said that shit first then too. Damn.
Well, WrestleMania weekend is my highlight, because this week has been a shit show for me. So over the weekend, it was such a perfect weekend. I loved having you over this weekend. Loved that we were able to do 4 streams. We did a Friday Night SmackDown live watch along. We did We Are Wrestling Podcast episode 102 live, which honestly was probably the best live stream podcast episode that we've done so
was
far.
fun. Yeah, it's
And
fun.
we had night 1 and 2 of WrestleMania, which when we do the live watch alongs in person, they're always my favorite because you never know what's going to happen. I love that
Hey.
Saturday night we had a crazy crowd. Sunday
Friday
we
we
got
streamed too,
emotional.
bitch. Don't forget, we also streamed Friday too.
I did say that with SmackDown.
Oh, you did?
And yep,
Oh,
I did
shit,
say
okay.
that. But I'm
Sorry,
talking
my
about
brain is still
WrestleMania.
asleep
I
after the
love
weekend.
that night 1, we had that party feel. Night 1, we had so many people over for the watch along.
No. You motherfucker had that party feel. I was just drunk and annoyed for like the first half, but then once John stood up, I was lit. Then it was a party for me. I can still hear that sound echoing.
And then night 2 was just emotional. It was just a great overall weekend, especially when the banner fell on my buddy's cousin.
Oh,
That is probably one of the funniest things that's ever happened on a live stream.
oh, dude, I'm sorry. I love Bobby Sherman. I love fucking.
We love you,
Jordan.
cash out shirt, baby.
Listen, but nothing had made my soul so happy in my entire life until a metal pole came crashing down on a 6-year-old's fucking head because they fucked around and they found out. And it made my soul so happy. That gave me the Mania vibes. He even got an EC dub chant, so it wasn't that bad. It wasn't even that bad.
I just enjoyed it. It was so cool just catching up with everybody because a lot of my close friends were there that I haven't seen in a while because doing a full-time shoot job and also doing a full-time being a content creator, you don't really get those opportunities to spend with the people you love. And this weekend, that's why it's got to be my highlight because, man, when I get the opportunity to especially watch one of the biggest shows of the year, WrestleMania, and I get to kick back with the boys, best feeling ever.
We had fucking John, we had Jordan, we had Sherm, we had Cam, we had Ricky, we had Gabby, we had the kids. So 3 of them. We had Meadow for the second half, kinda. Yeah, we had a lot of us there, and it was pretty
and
rowdy.
Mark the Shark too.
Oh,
One of my old
that's
competitors.
Right. Yeah, Mark was here for a little bit too. Was he? He came for night 2, right?
Night 2.
Mark? Yeah, he came for night 2. Yeah, that's right. And he left before the main event, so I was like, "What? Like, you're not gonna stay for like literally the juiciest part of Mania?" But
he's not really a big wrestling fan, but I did tell him about Saturday. He couldn't come, so he wanted to. He wanted to come over for Sunday.
And then Cam fucking bodied an entire fucking tub of ice cream, and I still haven't asked him how his asshole's recuperating.
The We Are Wrestling mascot.
That dude, man, that dude is the moneymaker. 100%. That dude, just send him out to promote, and I guarantee you'll have sponsors flying in.
I'm surprised he hasn't created an OnlyFans yet. With his promoting. But with that being said, let's get into the We Are Wrestling weekly recap for the We Are Wrestling podcast episode 103. Starting things off, WrestleMania 40. Let's talk about the pros. Let's talk about the cons, because I definitely have to agree with what Triple H said on Raw about WrestleMania 40 being maybe one of the best WrestleManias of all time. Let's talk about it.
I mean, that's not even an argument, so let's just put that out on the record. For like, that is a very big fact. He was spitting nothing but truth. Like, those are some healthy bars. Let's talk about the pros, because there's not many cons, like, at all.
Really not
like,
that many.
There's really not. Like, I'm genuinely trying to like I could talk about the pros all day, but like, as I'm speaking about the pros, I'm also trying to think. I'm like, is there really anything bad that I could say? Like, I'm really genuinely like contemplating, because it's not many times. Like, even like WWE, AEW, TNA, doesn't matter. It's not very often that any promotion has a spot on, almost like flawless, near perfect score on a PLE. Like, it's very hard. and it's very
Well,
rare.
AEW, they be having really good pay-per-views as well. They be getting some perfect ones, but they don't ever pick up the momentum, which, you're going to hear it on the main event topic.
Yes, but
Continue.
here's the thing, though. Where that's all fine and dandy, yes, and yes, there is more AEW slander. I don't give a fuck. Sue me, fuck all you. The build up to all of those stellar PLE matches are fucking shit. 9 out of 10 of them are fucking shit buildups, and you can't deny it because their weekly shows 9 times out of 10 are fucking garbage, especially nowadays. So it's, you can't really stand on that anymore. But in general, they have had great fucking pay-per-views, even with All In. They still put on a fucking stellar show because I was present at your house watching it live with you, and I had a hell of a fucking time. Like, I really enjoyed the pay-per-view. Every single match was basically spot on, and I didn't know what match to follow was going to keep up with the match that just went on. Like, it was a stellar shit. I will give you
Literally
that.
one of the only good things about AEW, but we're going to get more into that into the main event. But as you were saying with WrestleMania 40.
But yeah, WrestleMania 40, man, like the pros, there's so many. Like, do you want to start at the stage setup? Like, should we start that little and build up to the tier?
I like that. So
You want to do that?
we'll
Okay.
start off with night 1 or night 2. Which one was better?
Oh, see, that's what makes this so fucking hard because I can't tell you. I cannot fucking tell you because both blew the fucking roof off the house. I mean, there wasn't a roof on the house, but that metaphorical roof, it was blown the fuck up like it was goddamn.
They both were fantastic, but come on, Ben. Night 2 is definitely better than night 1.
Night 2 went faster. I will say, it went by faster because there was so much to look forward to. Like, the best matches I feel like were on night 2, and the best buildups were on night 2 to those matches as well. So yeah, I will say, I guess if you have to throw it there, night 2, but I will say night 1's production was way better.
I can get behind that. I can actually agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like night 1, a lot of people are just like, oh, night 2 is the best. Night 1 wasn't that good. I kind of disagree. I feel like night 1 was really good. I enjoyed it. I know Cam was talking about saying, oh, it was lackluster. Didn't feel like WrestleMania. And a lot of other people, I've been reading that as well. But I have to disagree with it. I really enjoyed night 1. Except the Jimmy and Jay match could have been better, but when we had the whole room lit doing the Jay Uso thing, so I think our minds weren't even on the match, and we had a good fucking time.
Before I go into my spiel,
Cam, you should have been there on Saturday.
Now, what I'm going to say about the nights 1 and 2 thing before I get into how I felt about night 1. Night 2 is the third act. It's your grand finale. It's what happens to culminate it. Night 2 basically is picking up directly after where night 1 left off. It's not supposed to be like we're pacing this out to build up to the juicy parts. No, we're in the end game now. So we're finishing up this movie. We're finishing up the second half of the movie. We climaxed and got into the intermission for night 1, and we jumped right in, and we're fucking hitting the gas now. Now we're hitting to the fucking end game, and we're ending it with a bang, and we did. Now, that's why night 2 felt faster than night 1. Night 1 was paced, in my opinion, beautifully. The production was also a lot better. When I say production, I say the lighting was better in a way. The crowd's energy in a way, and how they feed off to every single, either light source going off, any kind of pyrotechnics going off. The entrances, for example, Motionless in White opening WrestleMania night 1, fucking spot on. And it became one of the top 5 performances, maybe even top 3 performances at a WrestleMania live event of all time.
I agree.
To give any entrance for any superstar, even Rhea Ripley helped carry that entrance and helped Motionless keep the energy. And, it was just, you could tell by putting those keys, and Danny and I spoke about this when we were just shooting the shit about how Motionless in White, we saw them back in the day when they were a small band at Warped Tour that you paid $40 for a festival to see all fucking day. And they played on the smallest stage. You saw how they performed live in front of 70,000 people, which by the way goes, I'm pretty sure on record, unless they've played like a download or anything, stadium. I think that was their first big stadium like that, and in front of their largest crowd stadium wise, period, in their careers. And what made it even sweeter for me and on behalf of the band, and especially the vocalist, Chris Motionless, he is a massive, diehard, I think from childhood, wrestling fan, especially WWE. So he knows the business. He's not only is this a milestone for his band, it's a milestone for him and his wrestling childhood. So I am just happy for everybody involved. Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch, fucking everybody that's a fan of the band in the back. Triple H for trusting them and giving them the keys to kick off night one of possibly one of the best and biggest WrestleManias of all time. Bravo. And that is exactly what helped with the production wise of night one.
And that's why I always tell people to support indie wrestling, because how you felt in that moment, you and Danny felt, that is exactly how I feel when I got to see MJF wrestle at Blitzkrieg Pro, seeing Darby Allin wrestle at Northeast Wrestling, seeing a lot of these guys just start off in front of 20 to maybe 100 people to performing in stadiums. Like with last year's All In at Wembley, seeing MJF main event that show. I remember going to Blitzkrieg Pro at the Pierogi Hall, watching him wrestle in front of maybe 50 to 100 people.
Yeah.
I remember Blitzkrieg's first shows on the baseball field in Enfield, Connecticut. There was probably less than 50 people at that show, and I got to watch him wrestle there. And to see him in a stadium with over 60,000 people, because I got to make sure I say my numbers right, because somebody got a tattoo of the wrong number. Love you, Will Ospreay, bruv. But it's crazy to see the transformation and see like the growth of somebody that you just love, somebody that you're behind.
You looked up to,
and I love that for you and Danny so much, that you guys were able to witness one of your favorite bands perform on a big stage that you only got to spend $40 at a Warped Tour. I only spent $10 to see MJF for the first time.
I've spoken to Chris, the vocalist, face to face before. I've shook his hand on multiple occasions. I've interacted with him on stage while he's been performing. Like Motionless in White has been one of my favorite bands since 2008, bro. This is 2008, dude. It is 2024. That is a long fucking time, and I'm only 28. So that is a good portion of almost half my life. So I've been a fan for a long time. So to see that and to see them perform on something that I love outside of the music world, to have those worlds collide even for a second for one of my favorite superstars of all time, and to have that fucking mold for even just 2 minutes, and that's how long the fucking entrance was 2 minutes, was probably something that I'll always relive in my head rent free for life, dude. And I will always thank Triple H for that, and I'll always thank Rhea Ripley for being a fan, and I'll always thank the band for the years that they gave me, you know. So I love that for them, and that added to how much I loved night one.
So when it comes to WrestleMania 40 with the pros, I definitely have to say production was fantastic both nights. I really enjoyed the sponsors that they had as well, because I feel like that's very important to continue to grow WWE into something even bigger than what they are. I think it's great marketing. It's great business. And right now, WWE is striving. We're in a boom period in pro wrestling as a whole.
Oh, yeah.
So to see WWE just absolutely kill it WrestleMania week has just been great. And even with WrestleMania, the stage, even though I like 39 better, 40 stage reminded me of WrestleMania 16, which I thought was pretty cool. And I think overall, the way they opened it off with Triple H night one, and then night two, Stephanie McMahon, that was fucking amazing. Because to see her back on WWE TV was so good. Because I remember when all of this stuff was happening with Vince McMahon, there was rumors that Stephanie and Triple H divorced, and that the reason why Stephanie left was because of this and this. But it's just so refreshing to see her smiling, to see her genuinely happy, because it felt like when she was working for her dad, she was just really stressed out and she just wasn't happy.
I think she's back, and I think that she's genuinely.
Nope, there are reports that this was just an appearance. She's not back with the company, but she is very supportive of Triple H right now. With what
of course, I'm pretty sure. If I can speak for the whole, logical, genuine wrestling fans that are so passionate about this business and this industry, I can speak for myself and, the majority of us that we all appreciate and are grateful and are passionate and behind everything Triple H is doing right now.
I even saw a picture of Charlotte, Stephanie, and Linda. Linda McMahon looks so happy for once in her life. Like, it just feels refreshing. And I love that they continue to push. This is a new era in WWE. What better way to push that than on the biggest show of them all, WrestleMania? I thought all the matches, the card was perfect. The build-ups were perfect. The matches, I really enjoyed a lot of them, except for the Jimmy and Jay. But hey, it's WrestleMania. I'm going to give them a break. And just overall, the show felt larger than life, and that is what WrestleMania is supposed to feel like. And especially having Cody Rhodes finish the story. What a beautiful moment. Having the final boss and the tribal chief versus Seth and Cody in one of the biggest tag team matches of all time. And then we got a lot of championship changes as well throughout both nights. Bayley finally got her WrestleMania moment. The only 4 horsewoman to not really get that opportunity, and she fucking did it. Sami Zayn ended a dominant run from the ring general. Yes, I'm not happy about that, but I'm happy for Sami Zayn because he definitely, if there's anybody that deserves it, it's him. The tag team championships, probably one of my biggest highlights of WrestleMania 40. They're split up. Grayson Waller and Theory have the SmackDown titles. Awesome Truth has the Raw titles. It's so refreshing.
Who would have thought?
Everything went right at WrestleMania 40. Except Cody Rhodes, he should have had some confetti. But that's my only critique. That's probably like my only con, really.
Would have been nuts.
That's my only con.
One, I think the cleanup would have been fucking hell. And 2, they don't have a roof. So it would have extended everywhere else.
The Super Bowl doesn't have a roof, and they friggin' find a way to do it.
Well, man, listen, that is a small fucking thing, all right?
It is a small thing. That's literally my only con. I just wish that we had the confetti.
I wish we had the confetti. Yeah, no, I will say 100%, dude. WrestleMania 40 is one for the books, and I am unsure how 41 is going to top it. Well, we're going to find out.
Well, I did hear the rumors are it's going to be happening in Las Vegas. That's going to be pretty cool.
41 is happening in Minneapolis.
No.
Oh, they decided to pull out of Minneapolis? They're going to Vegas now?
I think they're going to Vegas.
Oh.
I don't even think there's like a full announcement right now.
I thought they announced Minneapolis for this coming year because Brock's going to retire next year.
I thought it was Minneapolis, but they never advertised it during Mania. And I guess there's been rumors about Las Vegas wanting to host it. I'm going to look it up real quick while you talk about your cons.
What cons? I could give another pro. I could give another pro real quick about night 2.
Yeah, there you go. Give another pro while I look this up.
Okay, well, another pro of night 2 was the main event because it was produced by glorious Bobby Roode.
Dude, Bobby Roode, man, as a producer, he hasn't even been doing it for a whole year, and he's killing it right now.
The main event of WrestleMania night 2. He produced that entire main event, and honestly, bro, kudos to Bobby Roode because he really killed the vision.
Yeah, so apparently there's still bidding going on for WrestleMania 41, and right now the front runner is Las Vegas.
Really? Oh, okay. It's kind of weird that it's this late in the game because usually they announce it like night 1 or 2. They usually announce it on WrestleMania Sunday because usually it was on a Sunday when they announced it the year of, and they'd be like, next year we're in.
It's a new era. Bless you. Bless you again. Bless you again.
What the fuck?
Bless you again.
Keep sneezing. That was 4, bro. Damn.
But
a
man,
fifth one coming?
WrestleMania
No.
40, I have to agree with everything you said. It's one that's definitely in the books, and I can't wait to see what WWE does moving forward because for the longest time with the Raw after Mania, it lost that special feeling. But it felt like a Raw after Mania this past Monday, and I really enjoyed the episode from start to finish. And I gotta say too, I loved in the beginning the video package that they made for Cody Rhodes, and then Triple H brings out the little monitor like back in school when
Like,
when they would play like a movie for us.
Have the big Tron.
Yeah, but I loved how they did that. That was great.
I thought it was fucking funny as fuck.
It reminded me of like school, like when you have to like watch like a video.
Yeah,
they
no,
would
I
bring
remember.
in like the TV back in the
Yeah.
day on the
So-
wheels.
I think, yeah, that's how you know that class is about to be lit. So I think
Yep.
another thing about night 1 that I loved was that it was such a 3-hour show, was so stacked and so compelling. Not only did it feel like it was over quickly, but it was so packed that they literally just had to cut the broadcast right after Jey Uso basically hit the 3 count because they were out of time. They were out of time.
Oh,
I'm like,
wait, are you talking about Raw after Mania? Because you just said night 1.
yeah. Sorry, Raw after Mania, rather. Yeah, it just abruptly fucking ended. And I was just like, oh, it's over. Oh, okay. Because like I was just in it the whole 3 hours, and I'm just like, all right, I guess it's over. Because he hit the 3 count. It was like, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Good night. I'm like,
Man, it was great. But speaking of something that is great, our next We Are Wrestling weekly recap, and they talked about this a lot on this past Monday's episode of Raw. The WWE draft is returning, and it is taking place on Friday, April 26th, and Monday, April 29th, which, by the way, We Are Wrestling, we will be doing watch-alongs to both of those draft episodes. What are your thoughts on WWE bringing back the draft?
if they do this, I hope they do this the old school way where they have Adam Pearce on one side, Nick Aldis on the other, and they announce who their draft picks are the old school way, like Paul Heyman did with fucking I think it was Eric Bischoff or Vince.
Yes,
Yeah,
back in
I hope
wait,
03, like 03 around there.
2004. I think it was 2004.
It was 04. Yeah, because I think fucking it was like Edge that went to like Raw or SmackDown or something like that,
Yeah.
or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah, because they even did it with the very first draft in 2002 with Vince and Ric Flair as well. They had both sides with the podiums. I love when
Yes.
they do that. Honestly, that'd be so cool if they brought that back.
I would love if they went that route with it, because if they did, it would feel like a Monday versus a SmackDown versus Raw draft all over again. Give me that drama too. Give me that GM bickering as well. Like I want to see them almost get physical because they're both NWA fucking stars, bro. So if they wanted to get physical like during the fucking draft picks and shit, I would be for it, bro.
Well, Nick Aldis can't get physical. He just got surgery on his arm or shoulder.
Oh, suck it.
But definitely
dick.
down the
That's
line
fine.
they can.
That's fine. But I'm just saying that would be fucking sick. You know what I mean? But give me a little bit of bickering. You know, I want that.
Oh, me too. Because I love the rivalry that they have done so far with Nick Aldis and Adam
And they have
Pearce.
history. Yeah.
Raw and SmackDown feel different, which I really like.
I love. See, this. I know that we're cooking for the main event, but this is exactly how you get two wrestlers to be actual officials on a show without having the whole thing blow up in fucking chaos. Maybe take notes. Be like Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce. Be one authentic. Be one.
Come on.
Don't be a counterfeit buck. Don't be a counterfeit buck. He said, come on. I wasn't going to say it. I'm like, fuck it.
Ben, you need to calm down. I've never been this scared in my entire life.
Oh, I'm so excited, dude.
That's the real footage I want to see. But guys, we have to wait until the main event to talk about that.
I got a little something for the main events. So, but yeah, I'm very excited for the draft. I think, it's brilliant. Everything's split up again, including the titles. So if, if Theory and Waller end up going on Raw, they have to do a title swap. So the possibilities are endless.
New
If the
title
Intercontinental,
designs.
including Cody's Winged Eagle. I really want to see fucking, if the SmackDown and if fucking the Intercontinental and US titles swap, they have to go on each fucking brand and they officially have the titles there now. Like, I'm excited for it.
I will say, I am glad that WWE is deciding to do this in April rather than like the fall. I think that having the draft after WrestleMania is the right move because it's a new season. It's a new era. That is the word that's been tossed around in WWE this past week, is a new era. And I think having the draft is a great move. And I also love how they're doing it with NXT. They're having people pretty much like declare that they want to enter the draft, which I think is a great move because it does remind me of sports with football and basketball. Because during the NBA draft, they usually will have players, once they finish their college, they either decide they want to declare for the draft and get picked or selected, or they decide to go another year international or college. And I feel like I like that with the NXT because I believe Ilya Dragunov and I think Roxanne Perez, they're announced that they're going to be a part of the draft. And they pretty much declared themselves, which I think is a great move because I love that WWE is going more into this sports route. I really like it a lot. And I think a lot of it has to do with TKO and also Fnatic now working with WWE closely. This is just great. I love it. Absolutely love this WWE draft.
So when did you want to do those draft predictions?
Why do draft predictions? I think we should do our own draft. I pick a brand, you pick a brand, and we go at it.
Obviously, I'm taking Raw, but yeah, I already called it.
SmackDown.
Okay, I'll take Raw. All right, well, there you
guys,
go.
Expect the draft video to happen probably draft week. So definitely stay tuned.
We'll probably record it like that Tuesday or some shit, or that Tuesday or Wednesday usually. So the draft is so cool to talk about because there's endless possibilities. Like, for example, I'm telling you this right now, LA Knight's going to Raw. I know for a fact he's going to Raw. I just have a feeling because ever since he got called up, he's basically kind of just been solely on SmackDown. Unless he's made special appearances on Raw. So, you know, he's been more of a SmackDown guy.
Brand. Yeah.
So it's time to officially go to Raw. I don't see him going back to NXT.
I'm also curious to see what they're going to do with some of the factions that they have. Are they going to do what they did last time and the draft will have the entire group? Or are they just going to do what they did back in the day where sometimes tag teams, they split up? We got that with Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas during, I think, 2004 draft. I wonder if we're going to get that like with the Dudleys. I remember Devon and Bubba back in 2002. They had to split up. And I feel like one thing I could see potentially happening, Dom leaving Judgment Day, going to the brand that Legato goes on. I think that would be a great way to kind of write him off.
They probably keep Legato on SmackDown and draft Dom to SmackDown.
I don't know, man, but I'm very excited about this. So happy that we're actually getting it now and not later on. This is a great move for WWE.
Absolutely. And again, you know, just based on what they're doing right now, it's a great fucking time to be a wrestling fan.
Yes, indeed. And I'm very excited to see where this goes, too, because I also really liked what they were doing with free agents. I did enjoy that part of last year's draft, but then it seemed like they kind of got lost in the shuffle with doing that. So I am curious to see where it goes, but man, excitement is an understatement. This is going to be great. I always love the draft every year. One of my favorite episodes of Raw and SmackDown. But up next, we have the comment of the week and the We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors. You still gotta wait for our main event topic. We'll be right back with more We Are Wrestling podcast episode 103.
What's up, everyone? This is Matthew Riddle, the king of bros. I just want to say, if you ain't listening to the We Are Wrestling podcast, bro, you're missing out. The king listens, and you need to too, bro.
Ricky knows best, ladies and gentlemen. Ricky knows best. Believe in me. God bless you. It's me, Ricky Williams. Moxley's just as crazy as him.
No, Ricky! Bullshit!
They do it too sometimes. I'll be catching it. It's me, Ricky Williams. Stop playing. But that's my opinion.
He's so over.
Ricky knows best, ladies and gentlemen. Ricky knows best. Believe in me. God bless you. What's up, We Are Wrestling? Shout out to the best one, Donnie and Ben. I want my thoughts on this Tony Khan situation. I'm gonna make it short and sweet for y'all. This Tony Khan situation is terrible, man. Like, Tony Khan literally gonna put your company in the grave with that. And it just shows how petty you low-key are. I would expect that from the Bucks, really. But Tony Khan, he's getting out of control with his company, man. He might lose. Like, AEW, I don't see them standing long. And I try to defend AEW as much as I can. But I don't think AEW is going to last as long as Tony Khan keeps this stuff up. And Punk was right all along about egos and stuff. Like, y'all just proving this point right. And y'all just being petty that he left, really. Like, why are y'all still throwing shots at him? Like, doesn't make any sense to me. Like, y'all are literally bringing that company in the grave. And Tony Khan, you need to change this quick. You got 2 more strikes with me, in my opinion. So, better change this quick, or that's a wrap for you after that. But that's my opinion. Like, I could say more, but I'm gonna keep it short. Tell me what y'all think. Ricky knows best out.
We're back, and every week we do this thing called the Comment of the Week. Ben, take it away.
What is going on, guys? So this week on this week's Comment of the Week, we have Angelo Rodriguez. He is a member of the We Are Wrestling crew, and we absolutely adore him and everything that he does for the live chat.
I never said the words adore.
I absolutely adore Angelo, man. He's fucking awesome. He's great. But this comment
Literally
is
Quinn.
on this, yeah, all the way down to The Walking Dead. But this comment is actually on our reaction to Cody Rhodes finishing his story on night 2 of WrestleMania 40, and it quotes, "I love how all 3 of you guys are emotional, and then you see Ricky Knows Best with a straight face and on his phone." Just
Ricky knows best. I wonder which phone he was on. Phone 1, phone 2, phone 3, or 4? Phone 4.
Yeah, he had 4 phones with him that night.
Yep, and then my dog knocked like 2 of them off the coffee table, and Ricky rolled his eyes. He wasn't happy. And he had 4 chargers too for these phones too.
Yeah, he had a dual charger. It was nuts. But yeah, it be like that sometimes. I am waiting for the day that something happens that makes Ricky pop. Like, seeing Ricky pop is going to be like witnessing another earthquake, y'all.
There's only one time, guys, and I'm going to share the story because I love me some Ricky Knows Best.
I love me some
There's
Ricky.
only one time that I've ever seen Ricky pop. And this was at one of our best one Christmas parties that we usually do every year at the house. And my fiance's friend didn't know what all that was. And Ricky, when you tell Ricky you don't know something or you don't like something that he likes, Ricky literally went, ready, here we go.
That shit was, yeah, because that scared the fuck out of me. When he did. Yeah.
He went up like a fucking hot air balloon. I could not believe that.
Why,
dude? The day Ricky Ricky pops is going to be a huge day for We Are Wrestling.
Why? I've noticed an interesting fucking trend about all of our stories that we've ever told on We Are Wrestling that has involved wrestling or has not involved wrestling. And that constant thing that I kind of find disturbing about each one of these stories is not only have I been present in 95% of them, but in every single one of them I've been present in, I have been drunk out of my mind. And it's funny because I don't even drink like that. Like, believe it or not, I do not drink like that. I don't drink just every fucking day, you know, like I don't drink every fucking weekend. Like, I'm not like on a craving for it. Like, I don't have a drinking issue. But when I do,
Sorry
I go
about your
in.
damn luck.
So basically what I'm saying is somehow every time when I'm at Donnie's, I end up shit-faced. And it's usually by my own doing. I just don't know what the fuck it is, but it's funny. And I remember that pop so vividly because it literally almost gave me a heart attack, bro. Because I was just casually talking to Gabby and he just freaking popped. I was just like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, I freaked the fuck out because I didn't know what the hell was happening.
Because my fiance's friend didn't know what all that was. Ricky popped. But when it comes down to it, because even after we went off the air, Ricky was kind of busting Cam a little bit. He was like, you were marking out. I saw you. And then in my mind, like I even said to Ricky, I was like, man, I can't wait to see you pop one day because I am sorry, but that was just such a great moment.
See, that's my
Ricky,
question.
you just need to come out of your comfort zone, get out of your shell.
Bro, like, see, now that's going to be my question for Ricky now. You know, the next time I see him is, bro, what makes you pop? Like, what is your ideal pop moment that makes you, like, freak the fuck out like us and the boys when you're just sitting there on one of your 4 phones? Like, what makes you say, fuck these phones? Oh, fuck! Like, what makes Ricky do that?
There's this
Like,
New Japan Pro Wrestling referee. His name is Red Shoes. That's what makes him pop. Trust me on that.
What?
Mention
You said Red Shoes?
There's a referee named Red Shoes in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Ask him about it next time you see him. But congratulations to Angelo on the comment of the week. Honestly, that was a good one. So I got to give you that one, Ben. So if you do want to get your comment featured on a future episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast, all you got to do is just leave a comment. Ricky knows best.
Some juicy ones.
Such a good.
I'm picking some juicy ones because every single one I've like mentioned has actually sparked a decent conversation. So I'm honestly.
That's why you've taken over the comment of the week segment because I think you have more of a creative mind to either piss me off or make me laugh.
To go outside the box, you know. It's like if it's something serious and I catch it and it's like, ooh, that's like a good like take on something and it's like a theoretical thing, then yeah, I'll bring it up. But I usually go for the lighthearted ones because it sparks good conversation, and then sometimes it drags in some pretty good substance. So it's like a formula, you know.
Well, you have been killing it, man. But with that being said, let's get into the We Are Wrestling Weekly news and rumors. Starting things off, and these on a normal week would be main event topics, but there's something bigger we're going to be talking about later on. But let's get into some good old WWE. And starting things off, The Rock versus Cody Rhodes. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the plan right now is Cody versus Rock at WrestleMania 41. What's your thoughts on this possibly happening? They did tease it a little bit on Raw this past Monday.
I like it, especially like when they did the whole like title slide. I was like, this feels right. And it's like, so he wants it now, but not from Roman. Like, I actually kind of like that because that's just going to build up on Cody's legacy and that's going to make him look fucking great. And Rock's going to have another good showing. So, I mean, I'm not mad at it. I just thought it was going to happen sooner than that. Like, I thought it was going to happen at like the Rumble, maybe. I thought it was going to happen at like Survivor Series, maybe, because he'll be well done filming his fucking movie by that time. But then again, I also know conditioning for a ring and also conditioning for a movie are two completely different things. And I respect that. And also the, adjusted amount of time that he needs to get ready in the ring to get that ring awareness as well, because like, he is getting to an age now. And I hate saying that because that's also aging us. that he's gonna need more time to get ready, like the Undertaker did, where he would give a solid year to get ready for one match. Like he's gonna have to give himself that space. Regardless of what kind of shape you're in, it doesn't matter when it comes to the ring.
Man, I thought what they did on Monday Night Raw, they executed it perfectly,
Oh, yeah.
and it had Bruce Pritchard written all over that segment, because one thing about Bruce Pritchard that I feel like he doesn't really get acknowledged enough for is long-term storytelling. And there's a reason why Cody Rhodes, night 2, called out not only Triple H, but he also called out Bruce Pritchard. And man, they're building it for WrestleMania 41. What they did on Raw, a whole year build.
Yeah, because Pritchard went with Vince to go pick up Cody, right?
Yep.
That was Pritchard. Yeah, that's right. Okay,
That was Bruce Pritchard.
Yeah, honestly, that's another reason why I love that Cody's in the position he's in, because he acknowledges those people that a lot of people don't get credit for when it comes to what they do to make the magic that happens in front of them happen. And Bruce Pritchard, obviously he's a fucking legend, and having him be a part of the Raw After Mania segment involved with the new undisputed WWE champion and The Rock, like Bruce and Rock obviously go way back. So
Yes,
it's like recreating Attitude Era magic. And that's something that Triple H has said, like since we're talking about the term era, it feels like we're entering that kind of thing again. Like when he was in the Attitude Era, he didn't really understand it because he was a part of it. But now that he's, helping put together the spectacle, he understands now, like, I'm feeling that again. And he's like, this is what they meant. And to have Bruce Pritchard be another crucial instrument into that makes it feel that way again.
And I think having Triple H, somebody that like understands the business in 2024 with a mastermind like Bruce, I feel like they just are a perfect match when it comes to creative. And I thought on Monday Night Raw, they did a great job teasing it. The Rock asking Cody, can you hold the title? And then Cody responds, can I hold your title? I thought that this was a great way to build up a long-term storyline, because obviously The Rock's going to be away, and I love that he acknowledged that. And with the Final Boss character, it makes sense. And I think because of how over the Final Boss character is and how great The Rock has really what he's done here with this character, we're not going to be getting Rock and Roman right away. And you know something? That's okay. I think
I'm fucking cool with that.
I think The Rock not turning, dude, I think The Rock not turning on Roman Reigns was a great move. They teased it with the spear, which I thought was good because, of course, that's going to be played back once we get the Roman versus Rock. But I think right now, this makes sense because night 1 of WrestleMania, The Rock even said he pinned Cody Rhodes. And regardless if Cody's the champion or not, he's coming for him. And what I could see happening is Cody Rhodes, he's probably going to have a long title run with this championship. And I don't think that this title is going to get off of him anytime soon. I think Royal Rumble, The Rock's going to enter it at number 30 and he's going to win. And I think that's going to give him a legitimate reason for him to get a shot at Cody. And I can't wait until we get there. That's what they're building up. I'm telling you. I got the script, baby. I got the script. Yes, sir.
Bro. Like, yeah, dude. And what's crazy is when Triple H said that Roman was about to embark on, a story of his own that's going to blow people's minds. This is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Roman, in the meantime, is going to get the boys back together. He's going to get everybody back together. He's going to add a couple members. And then when The Rock beats Cody at the next WrestleMania, we're getting Rock and Roman, the Bloodline too.
I don't know. I don't know if Rock's going to beat Cody. I think Roman, you know what I could see happening here? And this is a long time from now. Right now, we're doing some fantasy booking. What I could see happening is Roman Reigns potentially turning babyface. because he's upset that The Rock is trying to take his championship and moment. I think once Roman Reigns comes back from his break, he's probably going to feud with Seth Rollins because obviously that's what they teased night 2 by having Roman not hit the chair on Cody, instead hitting Seth Rollins, which I thought was a really cool thing that they
Rollins
did there.
was finally able to fucking turn his redemption story around now too, and that really hit a chord too, which made it so special.
But I think what's going to happen is Roman and The Rock, they're going to really tease that breakup towards WrestleMania, and I think Roman is going to be babyface in this situation, and I think Final Boss Rock is not going anywhere because The Rock is just doing so good with it. Especially, look at all the reception the Tribal Chief has gotten after his loss to Cody Rhodes. There's a lot of people that are acknowledging him, and I think when he comes back to WWE TV, he's going to be getting some really good pops, I think.
So you think he's going to be a babyface when he comes back?
Yes,
Yeah,
but it's not.
for him to go
But it's not.
babyface.
And I want to put this out there: it's not going to be like it was when he was the big dog.
No.
This is going.
that
You're
will
still
never
going to get the
happen.
same Roman, except he's not going to be saying, "Oh, you guys are stupid in this city" or whatever.
No, he's just going to be himself, the same Tribal Chief, but with good motives. And it's going to be interesting seeing him get babyface, CENA babyface pops, but as still the Tribal Chief. Like, it's going to be nuts, man. And I'm excited for that future when it happens, but I just want him to enjoy his time. Hold on. You keep cooking. I just want him to enjoy his time. I want him to come back bigger, better than ever, better than he's ever looked before, better than he's ever performed. And I also want him to get his health straightened out too. So,
Yes,
I want him to take at least 3 to 6. 3 to 6. That's all I'm asking.
I agree with you on that. But you know what I could see happening too, Ben?
Talk to me.
What if The Rock makes his own bloodline?
Oh. How?
Because we could get the Solo turn on Roman, and Solo is alongside with The Rock. And then, of course, Jacob Fatu, who has signed a contract with WWE, he can join The Rock's bloodline. Jimmy and Jay will probably have Roman's back eventually. There's a lot of scenarios that could happen here, and this is the best part about Raw after Mania, especially when we actually have people that, oh my God, what a time to be a wrestling fan. What a time. I'm so glad WWE is back, because if it was just AEW, I would probably bash my head into a wall.
Likely.
Thank God WWE is back, and I can't wait to get into that main event topic. I know I keep saying
Hell
that.
yeah, bruh.
But dude, Rock and Cody, I thought they did a great job on Raw teasing it, and it really opens that door for a lot of different scenarios, a lot of different opportunities.
Bro, we are in for a ride these next couple of years.
Yes, we are, because I don't think Bloodline's going anywhere. Even Jay said it in an interview not that long ago. So there's definitely a lot of different scenarios that can happen. I don't think all of this is going to end until maybe WrestleMania 42. I really think that there's a lot of different ways that this can go. And I always say, don't fix something that's not broken.
I buy it. I can agree.
It just feels refreshing that Cody finally finished the story, and now we're on to the next chapter with this insane ride. And highly recommend all the maniacs to strap in, get yourself some popcorn, and enjoy the ride, because I think Triple H and Bruce Pritchard, they got a lot of stuff cooking.
Mm-hmm.
But moving on now to our next weekly news and rumors. John Cena, another main event guy, plans to take a break from Hollywood to have one final run with WWE. While speaking on the Pat McAfee show, Cena said, "I was grateful enough that Honda kind of bumped a commitment that I had been able to do WrestleMania. So I'll go from here and do something with Honda. So I'm going to go straight to that. I have a cool keynote appearance with Samsung in Las Vegas. their theme of the convention is time is now. So they called yours truly to speak there. I'm very grateful for that. I have some more branding stuff to do before I leave for Europe to finish a movie that we started filming before the strike called Head of States. Then straight to Peacemaker Season 2. That'll take us through just about Christmas, and I'm crossing my fingers and toes and my heart that maybe I can tell Hollywood World to pump the brakes for a while and come back to my family for one last run. I don't know. I hope. I'm trying. I hope. We'll see what happens. What's your thoughts on John Cena wanting to have one last run with WWE before he hangs up the sneaks? Not the boots.
That will
the sneakers.
Yeah, I know. I think that's the window for the best possible time to perform at his best level he possibly can to still be John Cena before it's all over. So I think that when he comes back, he'll be in the best shape we've seen him in, like comeback appearance wise, since he left wrestling full time. I think he's probably going to put on some pounds again, and he's probably going to get back into that WrestleMania shape again. Probably win a title or two, and he's going to ride off into the sunset. And his final match is going to be epic. Who's going to be his final opponent? Don't even fucking ask me yet.
Yeah, we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Even fucking ask me yet, because I will not answer you. Because I'm honestly right now the most likely candidate to be his final match is likely Roman Reigns. Like, it's either likely Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins. It's one of the two, because that's their goat horses, bro. Unless he chooses handpicks his opponent.
I was gonna say maybe him and Randy one final time.
That will fucking kill me, but yeah, I'm not ready for that. But yeah, that's gonna be a hard moment because all kayfabe will be breaking that night. So yeah.
With John Cena, I think I've been saying this for a while. The way I would do it for John to end his career with WWE would go on a retirement tour, similar to what Kobe Bryant did in his last season with the Los Angeles Lakers. I would love to see John Cena take a break from Hollywood, which it seems like exactly what I've been saying is what he's trying to do. And I would just go on this Kobe Bryant tour, work with WWE for 6 months to maybe a year, and just have fun matches on either Raw or SmackDown. And of course, the PLEs. And of course, end his career on his terms and just do it the right way. And I think for somebody like John Cena, he can take that Kobe Bryant farewell tour because he's had such a first-class Hall of Fame career. And with John Cena, man, he just has this really special connection with the audience too, that it would feel special if he did something like that. I feel like it would be cool to see John Cena versus CM Punk one final time. John Cena versus Randy Orton one final time. I know Logan Paul and Cena have wanted to work together as well. Get some future guys out there and pretty much pass the torch. I think that this would be the best scenario for John, and man, I kind of hope that this happens in 2025 because Cena's career is winding down. He already said he doesn't want to wrestle past his prime. He doesn't want to be one of those old timers that continues to go. He still wants to give you the best version of himself, and he thinks that his time is running out, just like AJ Styles has said as well, I believe, on the Pat McAfee show before Mania last week. Yeah. But man, I'm going to say this, it's going to be emotional, this ride that Cena's about to take us on.
Oh, yeah.
Now that, I might be bawling my eyes out. But moving on now to our last We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors. The new WWE World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest has re-signed with WWE. What's your thoughts on this move?
Obvious. That's literally all I can tell you is obvious. Not even just because he's the World Heavyweight Champion. He wasn't going anywhere to begin with. Like, he's he's got that potential. He's got that Batista potential. And if he capitalized on it, we could eventually be seeing our long-term Batista of the company. He's got that same essence about him. I think that he's a very wise choice. Like I said, in the past, the moment he came to main roster a little before he left NXT when he was still North American champion, he's going to be a future world heavyweight champion one day. And now he is.
Already is. Yep.
So, I think, I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's still got a lot to do in the big WWE. So it was obvious he was re-signing.
I can't believe the transformation that he's made in his career, because I remember watching Ring of Honor around 2016, 2017 when he was Punishment Martinez.
Yep.
And to see where he was to where he is now is a huge transformation. And honestly, I had my doubts at first with him winning the world championship, because they've really had him on the back burner for a really long time, and he kind of got lost in the shuffle. A lot of us were asking questions. When's he going to cash in the Money in the Bank? And they really just kept him in the shadows. And now that they cashed in the Money in the Bank, I have to say, timing is everything. And they did a great job with the cash in, and especially his introduction on Monday Night Raw as the new champion with the red suit, the new theme song. They made him feel like a main event guy. And honestly, I'm really happy that that's happened, because I know there are some We Are Wrestling maniacs that have said to me, why don't you want Damian Priest to win the world champion? Like, why do you not want him to have a successful cash in? Why do you want him to cash in on the WWE Speed title? Because I see the potential in Damian Priest. I've been such a huge fan of his going all the way back to Ring of Honor, and especially his NXT run as the North American champion. I have been a huge fan of Damian Priest. I see the potential, and I just have to get used to it. It's a new era. Vince McMahon is not here anymore. Kevin Dunn, he is gone. It's a new era. And I can't believe I had my doubts about Damian Priest being world champion. Now, it's only the beginning. Things can change. But I really hope that he has a successful run with that championship. I don't hate Damian Priest, and I want to put that out there.
Yeah. Like I said, I know how you feel about Damian Priest. Like it's a no-brainer, man. I think that, re-signing was the obvious choice, and I'm excited for what he's going to do in the next 5 years. So it'll be sweet.
Oh, definitely a great choice, because one more thing I do want to add before we get into the getting put over and the main event topic. Damian Priest, he has really gotten over with the main roster crowd, even when Triple H wasn't running things. He's very popular with his culture. There were so many Latinos that were really happy that he got that World Heavyweight Championship. And being the first guy who was born in Puerto Rico to hold that championship.
Championship in 50 years since Pedro Morales. Pedro Morales? Pedro
Morales, I believe, was his
Pedro
name.
Morales, yeah.
But Damian Priest, he's also main evented some of these PLEs. He's been one of the biggest workhorse in WWE. And for him to get rewarded a new contract and the World Heavyweight Championship, I'm very excited to see where this goes. But up next, we have a special getting put over segment. And of course, the main event topic, the one that we and you have both been waiting to talk about. We'll be right back with more We Are Wrestling Podcast episode 103.
Hey everybody, it's Hall of Famer Devon Dudley here. And when I'm not putting people through tables or testifying, I am listening to one of the greatest podcasts in the world. We Are Wrestling Podcast. Check it out. Testify.
Are you looking for wrestling content? Well, We Are Wrestling provides everything pro wrestling. The best one, Donnie, Gins and the Load Rager, Ben, are wrestling marks like you who love this sport. We Are Wrestling has it all when it comes to wrestling content. We have different podcasts, vlogs, reactions, full wrestling matches, live pay-per-view watch-alongs, interviews, predictions, and so much more. Only on We Are Wrestling. What are you waiting for? Subscribe and become a We Are Wrestling Maniac now. We're back, and every week we do this thing called the Getting Put Over segment, where Ben and I, we alternate every week, and we pick one past, present, or future professional wrestler, and we put them over. Last week we had a live episode. We let the fans pick, and they picked Rey Mysterio, but now we are getting back on track. Ben, who are we putting over since it's your turn this week?
We are going to be acknowledging our tribal chief, Roman Reigns, one final time until he comes back.
Man, Roman Reigns just got over one of the most legendary WWE Championship runs of all time.
Very controversial.
For over 1,000 days. That is not controversial, because regardless, we got sick of it after a while, but
there were some bangers.
It was a good thing that we got sick of it, because it made that Cody Rhodes moment even more special. And we haven't had that heel feel to a championship, I feel like, since JBL and Triple H in 2005.
Yeah.
And Roman Reigns, man, what a legendary run he's had in WWE. And I can't wait to really talk about some of my favorite moments in his career, and especially this long championship title run that he's had. So when was the first time you acknowledged the tribal chief? Like, when was the first time you saw him?
Once, very early on in Black and Gold NXT, when he still had his trunks, and the first time I started seeing him regularly was early in the Shield, when they still wore the masks, to the ring and shit.
Yeah, so with Roman Reigns, the first time I remember seeing him, I was on YouTube watching Florida Championship Wrestling, which was WWE's developmental territory before NXT went from a game show to pretty much their third brand. And I remember watching this triple threat match. It was Roman Reigns as Leaky versus Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose in a triple threat match. And I thought that that was really freaking cool, because at the time, they weren't the Shield in FCW.
No, yeah, they're just their own
three of the top stars during that time wrestling against each other in a triple threat, which later they would form the Shield. I thought that that was really freaking cool.
Hell yeah, man. It's kind of crazy when you see how things eventually develop when it gets towards its final product, and then it's interesting seeing them branch off again into their own paths and their own careers, and seeing what kind of things they can do as solo performers. And obviously with Roman, man, it was quite a diamond in the rough situation. It was definitely an ugly duckling. Didn't know if it was ever going to turn into a fucking swan type of deal. We thought he was just going to stay fucked up forever, but they turned him heel. They let him just wing it one night, and everything changed. And everything changed.
And I do want to talk about the Shield, because that's where Roman Reigns made his WWE main roster debut. It was Survivor Series 2012. Ambrose, Rollins, Reigns, they became the Shield. And originally, they were supposed to be with CM Punk. And because of how popular this faction was, they scrapped those plans and they made the Shield their own thing, which I think was a great move during that time in WWE, because I think we all were waiting for change to happen. And especially me, following FCW and 2012 NXT when it became the developmental, I was always behind Seth Rollins. I was always behind Dean Ambrose. But out of the three, I never really got behind Roman until the Shield. And I thought they did a great job costing Ryback the WWE Championship, and they really just dominated until Seth Rollins freaking Plan B, which I thought was a great move for his career because I knew WWE had big plans for Roman. Dean Ambrose, I thought was going to be the biggest star out of all three of them just because of his work at FCW. But man, Seth Rollins, I think them having that happen was a great move because I thought he was going to get lost in the shuffle once the Shield broke up during that time. And
surprise.
I was wrong.
It's incredible, man. It's incredible. Like when you watch somebody again, get to the end game and like their final form, so to speak, because out of, all three of them, we got massive fucking stars, bro. Like regardless if, they're in the company or not anymore, they're still killing it wherever the else there are, they're one of the biggest stars in that company too. So if anything, one of the only anchors holding that shit down right now. So, but we'll get there in the main event.
Yeah, we're not putting AEW over in this. This is Roman Reigns.
No, but I can't not put over the dude that helped also form Roman Reigns. So
yes,
I just I'm really
love Mox.
I love Mox too. Not so much nowadays, but I love Mox too.
Still,
but of course, but when it comes to Roman, it really took until after WrestleMania 40 to really kind of put into perspective how long he really has been a part of the company and how many moments he's been a part of. And, I feel like all of it kind of came full circle at WrestleMania 40, and it was bittersweet.
And that's the thing, man, with Roman Reigns. Out of the Shield, because I was talking about how I thought Seth Rollins was going to get out of the shuffle, but I felt like Roman Reigns was the one out of the shuffle because they wanted to make him the next John Cena. And during that time with Roman Reigns from like 2015 until the Thunderdome era, I fucking despised him. I hated the big dog character. I knew, dude, I knew the potential was there with him.
Yeah,
but he needed to be heel. He needed to be a heel, and they just wouldn't do it. And
just like a boss rock.
It was fucking horrible. Yeah, even I remember Royal Rumble 2015 when he won the Rumble. He had like his nose all busted open, and they had The Rock come out to try to, rub some of that heat off of him.
Yeah, man.
I remember him getting some big wins at WrestleMania, and then the night after WrestleMania, the crowd like wasn't having it with him. And I feel like the moment like the crowd started to appreciate Roman Reigns was when he came out as Joe and he announced that he was diagnosed with leukemia.
I don't think it was diagnosed or where it was like it came back. Like it was in like I think is it remission? No, remission.
Oh, you're right about that. I forgot about that earlier.
Because he's been living with it prior he's been taking the chemo medication for like his whole he has to take it for the rest of his life. So he's been dealing with it for a very long fucking time, and it's just a part of him now.
And I think when he came out as Joe, it made a lot of us in the IWC realize that he's just playing a character at the end of the day. Why do we hate him as a person so much? And I think it made me really realize a lot of things. I definitely learned a lot.
You want to
know
learn something else?
Huh?
Want to learn something else? You want to learn something else about Roman Reigns?
Yes.
What was his name in FCW?
Leaky
or Leety?
Leaky, I think, or Leety. I don't know.
Leety is his first name in real life. Joe is his middle name. He just goes by Joe.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
First name in real life. Leety Joe
No
Anoa'i.
shit.
Yep.
But with Roman Reigns, for the longest time, it was this big dog thing, I hated it so much, and I wanted something better for him. And then we finally got it. The WWE Thunderdome era. Roman Reigns comes back as a heel, wins the Universal Championship, and the rest is history.
Motherfucker, that was like when he first made like this spear to, I think it was was it Braun Strowman or Bray Wyatt? It was Bray Wyatt,
I think
right?
Braun was the first one.
And then it was Bray, right?
Yep.
Fucking insane. Because I was like, dude came back heel. So I was already like, what the fuck? And then I looked at him again and saw his size and the new teeth. And I was like, what the fuck? And then when he talked on the mic for a second, for the first time, I was like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck?
And then just adding Paul Heyman to it just added so much more.
That was a wrap. Bro, right there. Done. Because Paul Heyman can speak for him. But then you realized Roman can also speak for himself.
And that blew my fucking mind because I remember that one promo with John Cena absolutely burying him. And then years later, we get the standoff with Roman and John, and Roman was cooking John during that. And it's amazing to see what happens. Like, I can't even word it. Like, it's crazy to see what happens when you give somebody creative control. And with Roman, Vince McMahon at the time really gave him that control and let him take the reins with the whole tribal chief thing, and
no pun
intended. It really took off. No pun intended.
Take the reins. But yeah, he really did.
Time.
The one time Vince took a fucking gamble and realized, oh shit, maybe if I don't have all the input on fucking everything, it's not gonna suck, and it's really gonna be good shit to the audience.
And I think for me, I really love the tribal chief character a lot. I think the more the title run was going on, the more I got sick of it, especially when Cody Rhodes didn't finish the story at 39. I also got frustrated with Drew McIntyre at Clash at the Castle. Sami Zayn at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
It was very frustrating just seeing Roman Reigns continue this run when we're just
if
over
anybody
it.
knows how frustrated you were, try asking the dude that was sitting next to you for 90% of it. I was just as mad, but trust, I get it. I feel that energy, that hate. I understand entirely what you mean.
But now that it's all over, I could say, good job, WWE. You did a great job.
Pizza party on me, guys. Yeah, meet me in the break room.
So now I do want to share the accolades of the Tribal Chief because
let's do it.
He's had a first-class Hall of Fame accolade. So here we go. Starting things off with FCW because I do want to put over his run over there. He is a one-time FCW Florida Tag Team Championship with Mike Dalton, who is now known as Tyler Breeze.
Oh, shit. Okay.
He was a tag team champion. He never won the FCW World Championship or NXT Championship, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Fuck. Wow. I thought every motherfucker that got called up to the main roster won that shit at least once. I thought that was like their signing promotion that they were getting fucking bumped up. Oh.
Nope. Roman Reigns has never won a developmental world championship in his career. So now let's get into the accolades for his WWE run. He is a 4-time WWE champion. He is a 2-time WWE Universal / Undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Also a 1-time Intercontinental Champion, 1-time United States Champion, 1-time WWE Tag Team Champion with Seth Rollins in the Shield. And he also won the 2015 Royal Rumble.
See, I find that fucking hilarious that he won the US and the fucking Intercontinental title because I forgot both of those reigns.
I remember the Intercontinental reign because I remember him fighting The Miz. It was during one of the Raw anniversary shows, And the one time The Miz got a big babyface reaction, it was that moment. And then he beat Roman for the title. But the U.S. title, I don't remember a damn thing for that. I saw the picture and yeah, that was probably one of the worst. Like, sometimes there's like a championship that just doesn't fit the person that holds it. And it just looks so funny. It looks so weird. That's what Roman Reigns was with that U.S. championship.
Yeah, like I said, I remember neither of those reigns. So honestly, it must have not have been important. And I think I remember him having the tag team title reigns because I think I saw it on TV once and changed the channel.
Oh, I love that time with him and Seth as the tag champs, and then Dean Ambrose had the U.S. championship. I thought that
I do
was
remember
a pretty
that
good time. But man, let's talk about some of our favorite Roman Reigns matches because he's had quite some classics throughout his career.
So I kind of have to disregard a lot of them because a lot of his main roster matches until like 2019-ish were kind of trash. Like they were kind of trash. And that sucks to say that, but they were kind of mid. They didn't start getting good until they started believing in him good.
Mm-hmm.
And they started putting him up against people that would actually like put him over, I guess, if that makes any sense. Like that he would have really good in-ring chemistry with.
I do want to add something to what you're saying. I think a lot of it, the reason why it wasn't so good is because they're trying to make him the next John Cena, and
yeah, exactly.
It's like
and it just didn't
we
fit.
knew what the outcome was going to be, regardless who Roman faced, and it was just the same old shit.
It was just one of those careers that had a very just rocky road and a big portion of it, and it didn't start getting really pumped up until around end of 2019 going into 2020, like around there, like right during during the pandemic is when it really started pumping up for him, right before the title reign started going on.
And I think a lot of that had to do with him just being himself, doing the whole tribal chief thing. And I don't think he's ever been a bad performer. He just had a really bad character.
It's hard to go back on his older matches and really say, yeah, that was a banger, because the crowd response was always either dead silent or they were booing the fuck out of him. Like nobody gave a fuck. And it just, with that kind of energy, it's hard to say, yeah, I enjoyed this match. And honestly, I can say with confidence, I didn't enjoy any of them because of it. No matter, and it sucks to say it, but with crowd response, it is super important to have the energy with you. And if you don't, no matter what you do, it's not going to stand out and it's going to get lost. And that's unfortunately what happened.
Yeah, because if you think about it, go and look back at his WrestleMania resume. And I was doing a lot of research before going into this. So some of the matchups that Roman Reigns had, he had WrestleMania 30. That was his very first one. He had a 6-man tag match. I believe it was The Shield versus Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, and somebody else. Good match. It was a fun first Mania match for him. But then you go into WrestleMania 31. We get Roman versus Brock for the first time. And nobody wanted it because they knew Roman Reigns was going to get the title. But they did save that moment by having Seth Rollins cash in the Money in the Bank. Then we go into WrestleMania 32. Roman Reigns versus Triple H happened. And they were trying to give Roman that push because Triple H was a part of the Authority. And nobody was behind it. Then we got him versus Undertaker, which people weren't behind it because Undertaker's streak was already broken. And at the time, Undertaker was not in the best shape because of a lot of injuries that he sustained throughout the years. Brock Lesnar, we also got him and Brock. Again, I believe at WrestleMania 34, nobody was behind it because it's the same old shit that we've been getting. And then at 35, Roman versus Drew McIntyre. And it didn't have that momentum because Drew was a heel at the time. Roman was still doing the John Cena thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that just tells you because you look at those matchups, you would think if it was Tribal Chief Roman, fucking classics. All of those matches would have been classics if Roman Reigns was either a heel or the Tribal Chief.
Even along the end of his title reign, when everybody knew it was overdone, there was still pops for him every single time. That's how you knew he reached that level that they thought he could always get to. And it was with this one swift change. And that's all it took for him. So getting into some of my favorite matches, I'm going to give you my first one. I'm just going to give you what is arguably one of my favorites of all time, just because of what it is. One of my favorite matches of all time, and I'm going to start with a small one. My second one is a banger, though. The first one's a banger too. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, but one of the ones that stands out to me the most, and I've actually rewatched it multiple times since then. Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul in Saudi Arabia at Crown Jewel 2022, I believe.
That was a really good match.
Yes,
that really put Logan Paul on the map.
That's what trajected, like, yeah, we trust him, because it wasn't just anybody. It was fucking Roman Reigns, and he caused pops in Saudi. So, and even Roman was like, damn, like he even got like a little sign of like, okay, to fucking Logan Paul, like, shit, like, yeah, he's the real deal. He's not just some YouTuber anymore. It's not just some actor or boxer anymore. Like, he's the real fucking deal, and that impressed a lot of people that night on behalf of everybody. That was a almost like clean 5-star, and he worked through injuries he sustained from that big fucking drop and still finished the match. That's professional. And it really highlighted both people in that match. And it was just a match to remember. And I just, for whatever reason, my mind goes back to it every single time. And it was one of the most viral moments because he Instagram live that fucking moment. And it will forever be a part of WWE history and wrestling history as the first person to ever fucking do that and actually pull it off and make it look clean and not fuck it up. And he
damn,
did that
Tyler
shit
Breeze, you had that selfie stick for so long. I'm surprised you never got to do that.
He didn't even use the selfie stick. He just used his fucking hands and did the fucking frog splash or some shit.
I know. I'm just saying, making the joke with Tyler Breeze because he used the phone a lot back in the day. Same with Austin Theory too.
Yeah, I know Austin Theory. Trust me, I'm glad they took it away from him, even though people are still so pissed off they took it away. But still, anyways, that's a discussion for another time. But all in all, that is one of the first mentions I'm going to give you. But I already have my second one lined up. You give me your first.
All right. Well, I got a whole list here, and I'm going to start off with a Shield match that I really enjoyed with Roman Reigns. And it's got to be the Shield versus the Wyatt family. That was such a great moment during that time. Because you had two of the most dominant trio groups in WWE going at it against each other.
Absolutely.
And then also during the Big Dog era, I'm not going to lie, there's only one feud that I enjoyed with Roman, and that was the series of matches that we got with him and Braun Strowman. I thought Reigns really put him over as the monster among men. Yeah, and the one match that I really enjoyed was back in 2018, Great Balls of Fire. They had an ambulance match. I thought that was a really fun one.
Great Balls of Fire. That's just
I know. And then funny. The fire graphic is a penis and balls.
That's how you knew it was a Vince era.
Putting it over. Such good shit.
My second match that I do want to talk about that I'm definitely putting over, WrestleMania 37, the triple threat for the fucking undisputed titles, Edge, Daniel Bryan, and Roman Reigns. That fucking match was incredible, and it was the first Mania back with fans, and that was, I think, the first event back with fans in general was fucking Mania was 37, and it felt like a heavy hitting match because I feel like Edge was he was going heel at that point, like where he was like kind of like a broken Edge where he was just frustrated as fuck and he was just like rabid for it. And he was thirsty for it. He just won the Rumble that year. He was like, I think he was at like the biggest I think he has ever gotten as well. Cause that dude wasn't just like ripped. He was fucking thick as fuck, dude. That dude was built thicker than a fucking Snicker. Like dude was just thick. Dude was big. And obviously having Daniel Bryan, the underdog part of the match, who I still think obviously ruined the fuck out of it by butting into that shit. Because I remember how pissed I was about that feud, because that was my first Mania with you guys, a part of the We Are Wrestling crew was that Mania. And I remember talking about how pissed I was. And I just never let it go the entire time. Even during the match, I never let it go. But I was really, really, really stoked on that match because everybody in that ring went to work. And again, it felt so special because, again, first event, and it was a WrestleMania being back with live fans. So it felt special. And with the rain coming down, man, come on. You literally couldn't have made it any better. So it felt like a triumphant story. Like everybody was fighting until that shit was done. And it felt good. It was just one of those really good feel good matches, and it also gave some nostalgia having Edge back in a main event title at WrestleMania, going for a title in the main event at WrestleMania again. So it gave us those like familiar feels, if you will.
So when it comes to some of my favorite Roman Reigns matches as the tribal chief, because that's when, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I started really paying attention to his matches and actually turning in my homework. One of my favorite storytelling matches that really took the tribal chief off, that I do have to acknowledge, was Roman versus Jay, Hell in the Cell in the Thunderdome era.
Yes. Which part? Oh, the first one when he was when he first broke Jay and brought him into the bloodline, like that first initial feud.
And then Jimmy was trying to protect him and asking Roman, what are you doing? It was a cinema. It was a cinema movie. And it really took the bloodline off in that moment.
I remember praising that fucking that promo and that whole video package going into their match. I remember praising it on the podcast and being like, dude, this is fucking great. And I think I actually used the term cinema. It felt like a big
out of all the Roman Reigns, or out of all the Thunderdome stuff, that moment really stood out to me. Because if it wasn't for that moment, we wouldn't have gotten Jay in the bloodline, Jimmy eventually, and we would have never gotten to this point with Roman having Cody finish the story. But now, another match that I also really did enjoy would have to be SummerSlam 2022. Brock versus Roman, with Brock as the babyface for the first time.
Oh, is that when he really enjoyed the mic at him and then he caught that shit? That will forever be the most savage and the most clean moments in WWE history. Because
the part that got me was Brock Lesnar pulling up with the freaking tractor and then flipping the ring over. I thought that was such a great moment. I thought that out of all the matches that we got with Brock and Roman, which was probably 15 or 20 of them, that was the best match between the two.
Absolutely. It was entertaining as fuck.
And then I think, wasn't that match where the winner, that's when we got the titles together, right? The WWE Championship and the Universal, right?
When he beat Drew, yeah.
No, when Roman beat Brock at SummerSlam. Because Brock was the WWE Champion at that time, right? Or wait, that was WrestleMania. That was WrestleMania. Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah, I was talking about because he beat Drew for the WWE title to unify them.
Yeah,
that's how long it was. That's how long ago it was. He beat Drew for it, bro.
No, wait, he didn't. He beat Brock for the unified titles because that was at WrestleMania. I do remember that because remember Bobby Lashley was the champion, and then they kind of wrote him off with an injury or something in the chamber.
Elimination Chamber, yeah, I do remember that. Okay.
And then Brock had that crazy run in there, broke the freaking thing, went crazy.
Yeah, you might be onto something. That shit was sick though.
But shit was sick. I thought the tractor spot was amazing in that.
No, but the next match that I actually had was Drew and Roman at Clash, because that felt like Drew was going to win that match, especially since he actually had a snippet of Broken Dreams playing. But I think that's what's going to happen for the World Heavyweight title at Clash this year. And I think he's actually getting the theme song for it. And I saw someone's comment somewhere saying that, I think it may have been Danny actually that had said it in the We Are Wrestling chat. And I kind of was like, all right, that makes sense. with him winning the World Heavyweight title at Clash because a lot of his family couldn't be at Mania. So I could understand him winning it at Clash.
You see,
And
that's
that's
the
a few months
problem.
away. Or is it
I would
May?
not mind that at all, but
When's Clash?
I don't know. It all depends on him and CM Punk. What's going to happen?
When's Clash?
Clash?
Is it in May or June? I'm going to check right now. Hold up.
Definitely not May because May is Backlash.
Yeah, that's May 4th, right?
But as you're looking that up, another match that I really want to acknowledge, Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn in Montreal, Elimination Chamber 2023.
Yes. Yes. That match.
Because I thought
was
Sammy
emotionally
really
charged.
had a chance to win it. And I was
June
just a big
15th.
fan. What was the date?
June 15th, 2024 at the Hydro in Glasgow, Scotland.
I wouldn't mind Drew actually winning it there, but I don't know. I feel like Punk. It's tough.
I feel like Drew low-key gave a spoiler saying when he said enjoy your time being a transitional champion. Because it does give him a little bit of a reign, but at the same time, he could be giving us a spoiler because I've noticed WWE has blatantly given us spoilers straight out and we just haven't bitten it. So I'm biting on fucking everything.
Well, Triple H and the whole creative team, they love to tease us like that.
I am 100% behind it. And when he says, when he straight up said, when you're going to lose at a Clash, I was like, that's a spoiler. Like, I have to bite it. You know, I have to believe in Drew. I have to. And if it's going to be in Scotland, that is the number one place he has to win it above a Mania. Because there's more personal roots there.
And there are a lot of ways that they could do this. They could, if CM Punk is back in time, you can have him win the Money in the Bank contract, have them on opposite brands for a little bit, and then have CM Punk cash in on Drew eventually. Once
now you got me looking up when Money in the Bank
once
is.
he's back. I think it's July, if I'm not
July
mistaken.
6, 2024 at Scotiabank, Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
They could be on opposite brands. Drew is at peace with the World Heavyweight Championship, and then at maybe SummerSlam or Survivor Series, CM Punk cashes in on him.
Yes.
That's a possibility.
That could work. I don't know what CM Punk's timetable is for his return.
Exactly, me either, but it seems like he's getting close to return. He was able to take the thing off a couple times, so we're just going to have to wait and see. But overall, with Roman Reigns, is there anything else you want to add or say before we go into our main event?
All I can say really is thank you, really, to Roman Reigns. Is thank you for, you know, going through all the ridicule, you know, getting past that, going through all of, you know, there always has to be, you know, kind of, you know, secondhand doubts in your mind as you go through a very wealthy reign like that. You know, am I performing at the highest level that I possibly can? You know, is this what the fans are really wanting? You know, am I really knocking this out of the park? Am I really drawing money? Am I really putting asses in seats? You know, at the end of the day, he's a human just like us, and he's also a human that's also dealing with health issues outside of the ring, which honestly kind of explains the lack thereof title defenses and the lack thereof TV time. It really does explain it. And honestly, had that just been the notion from the get-go, I would have been like, okay, but I can also understand, you know, being like,
you want to keep his character going too.
You want to keep his character going, and you also don't want to say that because then people are going to be questioning, okay, why are you giving him this wealthy reign then if he's not going to be able to perform, you know, and that's going to also ruin someone's career. So I can understand them not saying anything and finally saying it as his reign is over, you know, as it's over. That's how you kind of can also confirm that it was over because he said it on night one.
Having him as a part-time champion, they knew that they were pissing us off by doing that as well. So I can see why they wanted to cover that during the time.
Because it makes it that much more relieving when he loses. And it did. And it worked. And it just makes me understand it more. But all in all, thank you. It was a historic run for what it was worth. And I'm excited for the next story that we're going to be embarking on, no matter what it is. And for the last time, the final time until he comes back,
I respect that.
Tribal Chief. So,
and my final thoughts on Roman Reigns before we get into our main event. Thank you, because for the longest time, the older you get, the more you forget about being a professional wrestling fan. And during this lengthy title run, there was a lot of ups, but there also was a lot of downs. And pro wrestling is like a roller coaster. And
Absolutely.
for the first time in probably 15 years of my life, I generally hated a heel. And that's tough, especially being a professional wrestling content creator, because we know a lot of things that happen
Trying to go
behind
in
the
non-biased
scenes.
as possible.
We cover the wrestling news, we cover the rumors, but at the end of the day, just like all the listeners here, we're fans just like you. And for the first time in over 15 years, Roman Reigns really brought that fandom back in me by having this lengthy run, even though there was times where I was losing my fucking mind when he would retain his championship, like the Drew McIntyre incident, the Sami Zayn situation,
Roll the clips.
Cody
Keep
Rhodes,
going. Roll the
night
clips.
one. No, we're not rolling the clips. All right, that's too much work. We might make a compilation, maybe like towards the end of the month. You're trying to put me overtime work.
You at least two. Just so you're like,
But also, too, Cody Rhodes, WrestleMania 39. Those moments right there, it brought that fandom back because it reminded me of the time when I was younger with JBL and Triple H being the champions. It was fucking hell. I hated it. But the reward was absolutely worth it when John Cena and Batista held those championships at WrestleMania 21. Just like Cody Rhodes holding that championship at WrestleMania 40, finishing his story. That's why I have to acknowledge the Tribal Chief and thank him, because he really did bring back that fandom in me. And honestly, I can't wait to cheer him when he's not holding a championship. I can't wait to see what's next for Roman, because I think we're far from finished. And like I said before, I think Roman and Rock is still going to happen eventually, but we're getting Rock and Cody first. And this is going to be a ride. I think we're going to be getting a lengthy feud with Roman and Seth too. And I'm all ready for it, because without the championship, we haven't got to see what Roman can do as the Tribal Chief. We got to see him as the big dog. And I can't wait to see what's next.
Like I said, honestly, I think the biggest what the fuck would be have Roman off until next WrestleMania, have The Rock win, and then have Roman come back and spear his ass. You know that pop would be massive, because then that's immediate babyface. Because imagine having a year off. Imagine that, having a year off entirely, not even injured. You're just getting ready for the biggest feud of your career. Have him off an entire year, have The Rock win it, boom, spear his ass. Dude, that pop would shake the earth. That pop would shake the earth, bro.
So please, Dwayne Johnson, if you're listening to this episode of the podcast, which I know you're probably not because you're doing probably better things with your life, please clear your schedule in 2025. Like, don't do any movies. You've already done enough of those. You've already done enough endorsements with Under Armour, and even now your own shampoo and conditioner. You've done enough of that. So 2025, keep that schedule clean, because I would love to see Roman Reigns come back at WrestleMania 41 and do that. That would be awesome. But congratulations to Roman Reigns. We put him over this week. It just felt right. And next week, I get to choose who we're putting over. I knew you were going to ask me that. Shit. You know,
I have to know
we've been doing way too many heavy hitters lately. So I kind of want to get back into acknowledging some underrated guys. And I think next week, I want to put over Aleister Black or Malachi Black.
Let's go.
Let's switch it up. So
I'm down. Let's go.
next week, we're going to be putting over Malachi Black on the Getting Put Over segment. So now, with that being said, hold on one second.
Yep.
That being said, let's get into our main event topic for the We Are Wrestling podcast episode 103. And just a reminder, I know I've been plugging it all episode long. If you guys want to go check out Hot Takes, where I give you guys my hot takes on things going on in the professional wrestling world, you can go check that out after this, because I talked about my initial reactions to what we witnessed on AEW Dynamite. And we're going to talk about it again. But now I've had some time to sit back. And Ben still hasn't given you guys his thoughts yet on it. So what better way to do it than the main event topic? This past Wednesday on AEW Dynamite, Tony Khan released the footage of AEW All In, CM Punk versus Jack Perry shoot fight that happened backstage at AEW All In. Let's talk about it.
Where do you want to start?
I want to start off with them shades. We got heel Ben in the house. For those who are listening, Ben got the shades. He's back. Heel Ben. And I got my hat on right now with the X on the AEW logo.
Why are we here again? Why does these guys, who the fuck ever thought that it was the appropriate fucking thing to do to air this footage thinking it was going to accomplish a damn thing other than proving CM Punk right about everything he said, and then trying to make it look like it was his fucking fault, and they didn't even have the courtesy of playing the audio. You're telling me AEW, the fucking Wembley Stadium, whatever the fuck have you, does not have any audio pickup? Nobody could record anything that happened in that area. You're telling me nothing was recording that, but you only want to play the visuals.
It's kind of crazy that they didn't show the audio, because I have a Ring camera outside my house and there's audio on that. And you would think a stadium like Wembley you'd be able to hear the stuff.
What also bugs me the fuck out about the whole situation is, why are you still insisting on using somebody who isn't even a part of your fucking company anymore as a tool to garner views like a fucking idiot? How is it going to help you? What does it prove for you? Oh, because because FTR are CM Punk's friends, and this is what their friends do, and that's why their game was thrown off. Ironic that it was days after CM Punk's fucking Ariel Helwani interview. Days. And the fucking hilarious part is that clip that fucking Danny shared into the We Are Wrestling group chat of the fucking comparison of what CM Punk was saying in the actual time limit of events that was happening, and it was matching up with every fucking word. However, the only thing that you did see, or I should say didn't see, was Tony Khan anywhere present trying to physically help break this whole fucking thing up.
That's the footage I want to see.
There is that. Well, no, what you did see was his twig skinny little arms once fucking CM Punk pushed Jack Perry and fucking like had him in the headlock, but he like bounced the speakers. You see his little arms like hold the speaker. You see him hold the fucking monitors rather. And then when CM Punk fucking jolts over to like that little side thing where you go into the back to see the monitor shit in Gorilla, you see his little arms back the fuck off the monitor real quick. And that is where Tony feared for his life. And I'm like, bro, what?
I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of fearing for my life that we're talking about this.
I just find it fucking hilarious because every single fucking Mark out there has always tried to defend Tony in some fucking way, shape, or form, but this time they have nothing. And it is like music to my ears. It is like blood pumping into my veins. Seeing this is making me astoundingly happy. And then seeing the online backlash is
Not the gold dust. Not the gold dust. No.
it was beautiful. It's beautiful. It's like a symphony of everything that I love to see. It's like watching a world burn in front of me, and it's one that I've been wanting to burn in front of me for this entire time. And it's gold because it's not the company that I want to burn. It's the man that runs the company.
There you
Because I've been
go.
saying,
There
I've
you
been
go.
saying that this is exactly what the downfall of 2000s WCW really started to look like. And I'm telling you, and I told you in the fucking beginning when I joined this bitch to start that this is exactly what it fucking felt like. And this is exactly where we were going. And everybody called me fucking naive and crazy. But bitch, look at where we are. Look look at what we're in the middle of. Chaos.
I do want to speak, though, for the AEW diehard fans, the marks, because I think a lot of us were really trying to give Tony Khan the benefit of the doubt, because at the end of the day, I can't speak upon everybody, but I can speak for myself. And I feel like we just want wrestling as a whole to succeed. That I know that's what I want. And with AEW, it's really the alternatum behind WWE because Tony Khan, he's got the funds because his daddy fucking likes to let him blow his money. And until we get another billionaire, nothing's going to change. And it's so unfortunate because us AEW fans, and I'm not speaking to you, I'm speaking to us AEW fans, we deserve so much fucking better. They have such a talented roster full of talented professional wrestlers, even in Ring of Honor, who are talented, who are gifted, that deserve opportunities. Yet this fucking mark, Tony Crybaby Khan, man-child, has to ruin it for everybody, including the fans. Because one thing I loved about AEW when I first started watching, because I've been watching ever since the very first press conference in Jacksonville, was the fans. They really gave a fuck about us. And because the one thing at around 2019 with WWE was they weren't listening to the audience with what they wanted. And AEW, they were listening to the fans and they really cared about criticism. But now the more Tony Khan has developed this ego of his that is just way out of control, we've really forgotten the meaning of AEW and what it was supposed to be for the pro wrestling business as a whole. And I think that's the part that really just makes me angry, that just makes me sad, is because I fucking love professional wrestling. I've always been a fan of the alternatives. When TNA Wrestling had the six-sided ring back in the mid-2000s, I enjoyed it so freaking much because it made the wrestling business as a whole succeed. WCW and ECW against WWF at the time. Competition has always brought out the best in everybody, and it's so unfortunate when WWE is striving right now. Like, this is they're doing the best business in over 70 years. They're doing the best business right now in this boom period. You would think that AEW would want to step up to the plate because they have the roster to do it. They have a solid TV deal to do it. The pay-per-views are fantastic. Everything about AEW is great except for one thing, and it's the common denominator, and that is Tony Khan. He is the fucking problem with AEW, and I hate to say this, but this Wednesday's episode of AEW Dynamite, this is officially the downfall. We're hitting rock bottom pretty soon. And as a pro wrestling fan, that fucking hurts.
That makes me happy as fuck.
That shouldn't make you happy as fuck. I think it shouldn't make anybody happy as fuck that this is happening, because let's be real. WWE would not be where they're at right now if it wasn't for AEW, and I stand by that.
And now the deed is done.
Take those sunglasses off. I don't miss heel, Ben. In this case, I don't even think you're a heel. I think everybody's behind you.
A dick. I just think you're a dick.
Get your prescription glasses on.
Bet.
I forgot that your glasses do that. I forgot that your fucking glasses do that.
Bet.
Oh my god.
I guarantee everybody that just watched that popped.
You definitely probably got a bigger pop than them revealing what happened at Hall in on Dynamite this past Wednesday.
What a twist. Oh, look at that. But anyways, snap back into kayfabe, bitch. I'm gonna say right now though, I could give a fuck less because they fucking allowed it to happen. If you ask me, everybody's at fucking fault.
No.
Everybody is at fault. You want to know why? Because if they didn't really believe in what the fuck Tony Khan's putting down and really making a massacre out of the whole place, including the commentators themselves, did not look pleased or comfortable that they aired that footage.
Tony Schiavone.
All of them that are really in disagreements can all just huddle up and just approach the boss about their concerns. It's supposed to be an open door fucking policy. And again, I don't see the Bucks really being any less at fault than Tony. I feel like Tony is Tony and the Dick Brigade with the Bucks. Like, it's all it fucking is. You know, it's just, I don't understand how you could have two active roster members, be EVPs of a failing corporation at this point and allow the antics of their boss to happen. And what the fuck ever happened to the Twitter tirades and people getting fined by Bryan Danielson? Like, did he ever give Tony that fine? Did we ever get a follow-up on that shit? Mr. Twitter Police? It's a fucking joke. Like, that's why I can't respect them. That's why at this point, I will never fucking respect them. Because at this point, you have better luck all rallying up and talking to the boss face-to-face about all of these concerns. But if you're not saying anything, you're basically allowing this to happen, henceforth adding to the problem. Exactly. So no, everybody's at fucking fault. Everybody, not just Tony. Tony's the main source, but the people who are allowing it, fuck you too.
You know,
that's why AEW will never strive.
I can't argue with that. I can't disagree. Your points are 150% valid.
Like, did you see his fucking shameful ass introduction to Dynamite on Wednesday? Him coming out sounding like straight up fucking Joe Biden. He came out, he's like, "Welcome to Dynamite, let's go." I'm like,
no. This is how he does it, all right? This is how Tony Khan does it. I've been there before, all right? This is how Tony Khan goes. Who's ready to be Dynamite?
Like, it's shameful. It's fucking cringe. It's embarrassing. Why does everybody get the, like, again, and this is the words of Rene Dupree on Cafe de Rene. Why the fuck do people know more about the curly-headed fucking kid running the show in front of the camera rather than your stars promoting all this shit? Why at the scrums are we seeing you with the stars when you should be letting the stars, WWE example, that do this perfectly, they let the stars speak for them fucking selves. And then at the very end, if you want to come out to kind of like, brief the rest of the conference with attendance, records you may have broken, just like Triple H does, that is the professional way to do it. Why are you with him or her that is on the scrum? Like, this is the problem. It's Tony Khan, but
it's all about Tony
allowing
Khan.
It, fuck you too. But everybody that's a sheep, fuck you too.
And here's the thing, though. When it comes to the sheep, I am going to give the benefit of the doubt to those who aren't former WWE guys, because of course, people have to feed their families. They have to have a roof over their head. They're getting paid to be a part of AEW. But to the legends, to Mark Henry, to Chris Jericho, to the guys who have more than enough money, who have been a part of this business for decades, for years, and the people who are financially well,
Donnie,
that's the issue here. That's the issue. They're the ones that need to say something to Tony Khan.
But I'm going to pull the heel out on you. And because this is a very special extended episode of the podcast after Mania, we're going in. And if this is the main event, I'm going to counteract with what you just said, because they should be looking at it as they're a fucking business. There are jobs that need to stay consistent for them to feed their families. Their boss doing all this shit is going to eliminate those jobs. And nope, before you cut me off, you also have to realize those sheep, why are they so scared of speaking out to their boss and being like, hey,
I don't think it's the fact that they're scared.
Wait. It has to be. He's their fucking lifeline. But no, wait. Just let me finish. And then whatever you have to say about what I say, lay it all out and I will firmly listen and I'll fucking do whatever. But when it comes to that, we saw the footage they played. He feared for his life from a fucking simple jolt. Why are you fucking scared to speak out? Just be like, hey, if a lot of these superstars got together and arguably presented these issues that are happening that are tarnishing and diminishing the look of their company to their sponsors, to the legends that work for them, to everything in the wrestling industry to try to be that number two, that shit's got to stop, or you're going to keep losing fan base and you're going to get everybody else to look the other fucking way, because all they're going to be known for is this petty bullshit. And that's what I'm saying, man. This is coming from a heel right now.
Here's what I gotta say now, and I do want to get my point across. I don't think it's the fact that they're scared. I want to ask you a question here, Ben.
Yes.
Let's say I'm not even going to say that. Tony Khan, all right? He's in his office. Let's say Dante Martin. There's a perfect example. Dante and Darius Martin. Top Flight. You don't know who they are, right?
No.
Okay, well, let's say they go into Tony Khan's office and they express their frustrations with Tony Khan's behavior.
Yes.
Compared to an Adam Copeland or a Chris Jericho walking in there, who are you going to take more serious?
I understand that, Don, but I'm not talking about one or two nobodies, because Because the thing is, you said you were going to let me finish before you made your comments. All right, go ahead.
So,
go ahead. You got that.
I don't think it's the fact that they're scared. I think it's the fact that it's really not their place. I feel like the day one AEW guys like Dustin Rhodes, Chris Jericho, Jon Moxley, even Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole, who are big names. These legends that are backstage, the producers, Jeff Jarrett. I'm talking Dean Malenko, Paul White, Mark Henry, all of these guys who have been there, that have done it. They're the ones that need to be saying something, because they have a bigger say than somebody like Dante or Darius Martin. Mm-hmm. And they're the ones that I have to say fuck you to, because they should be the ones to be speaking up against Tony Khan, but instead they're sitting there and they're just letting it happen while they collect a paycheck. They have more than enough money to live, because if they got released by AEW, hold on a minute, if they got released by All Elite Wrestling, They could just go to the independent circuit. They can go to wrestling cons and they can make the money that they're making in AEW right fucking now. So they don't need the money. Other guys like Dante and Darius, they need those AEW paychecks. So they have to sit there and just do their job. There's a big difference here. Because you have to look at it. The bigger the star you are, the more you have leverage over.
I know that. And that's what I'm saying. Because I know for a fucking fact that a lot of those big stars do not approve at all of what the fuck's going on. And I think that something needs to be said, because eventually that revenue they're collecting is going to slowly start diminishing. So when they can't start to pay those fucking salaries they live off of, those big legends are gonna leave. Once those big legends leave and the show starts diminishing further, other people are gonna leave. The viewership's gonna plummet even more than it already fucking has.
I was about to say, it's plummeting now.
Bro. That's what I'm saying, bro.
They did all this for one good rating. Whoopee! What are we gonna do for next week's episode of Dynamite?
Precisely.
You literally, Adam Copeland went out there last week and cut a promo basically saying, let's just enjoy pro wrestling. And which is why I feel like what he was saying last week on AEW Dynamite was genuine. It wasn't Tony Khan saying, can you go out there and please say this? Because clearly what happened a week later, everything Adam Copeland said basically went right down the fucking toilet bowl.
Because of Tony Khan and the
Tony Khan, the common
everybody that fucking allows it. And that's why I'm saying, man, William Regal, out of everybody, was the smartest one to dip the fuck out of there as soon as he could. And he did. Why? Everything we're seeing now, it's a fucking circus. I'm not taking it seriously. Fuck AEW. I tried at one point. But no, I can't drag a horse to water. I can't beat a dead fucking horse. I can't. You know, you can't change something unless you really want it changed. Because if everybody collectively, including Bryan Danielson, a fucking legend, is putting out a Twitter policy but is not even enforcing with his own boss, obviously somebody's scared to lose their fucking job. So yeah, in a way, there is fear there of losing their job. So yeah, these big stars need to say something, because
and they need to go on strike.
Bye-bye. Yes, exactly. If
Take
not,
a stand, bye-bye. Do something. And that's the part that's frustrating, because AEW has such a passionate fan base. I have been a fan of this company since day fucking one. And it just really just fucking hurts, man. It hurts. Because AEW literally has everything to be right up there with WWE. And I'm never going to put AEW in the same category as WWE, because WWE is just on a whole nother mountain. AEW is never going to get there, but what they can do is be an alternatum and give other guys and girls an opportunity. Because at the end of the day, there's so much talent in this business that are right now in the independent circuit waiting for an opportunity. And with AEW, with Tony Khan fucking putting out this fucking bullshit, you're taking away from talented fucking people. And that hurts, because I support independent wrestling. There's so much talented guys. Bobby Orlando, TJ Crawford, Bryce Donovan, Allie Ketch. So many talented people that deserve an opportunity. And there's really no company out there that has the funds like AEW outside of WWE that can give opportunities to a lot of these talented people, which I really hope soon we get another billionaire that doesn't have the fucking ego like Tony Khan and can actually run a professional wrestling company and actually let somebody who's done it, been there, done it, book it. Because what Tony Khan's doing right now, it's not only hurting his own company, it's hurting the business as a whole.
What he would do is
take.
I think his best move, and now, you know, speaking unheel wise, The best move, realistically, would have to, and this is a fantasy book, 100%. This is a fantasy book. Obviously, stay in charge of CEO. Obviously, just hand your creative to somebody else and already have somebody in mind. Demote the Young Bucks and put them as just active roster superstars. Focus on them as talent. Give them no leverage when it comes to creative. Hire genuinely good fucking writers and put Scott D'Amore as the head of creative. You have something there. He could build structure by putting another era. But here we are.
What about Jeff Jarrett? He's had
Jeff
years of
Jarrett,
experience
Scott D'Amore.
running TNA wrestling.
With Scott D'Amore. So,
and especially
boom,
with Tony Khan's money,
duo.
they could do something there. You're cooking.
So what are we doing?
Because that's the issue here is Tony Khan. He just he has the funds, obviously. If we're going to keep AEW running, we need Tony Khan's money. But what we don't need is Tony Khan at all the media scrums. We don't need his stupid fucking tweets.
And
what Tony Khan needs to do is put somebody who's been there, done it, in charge. And
Scott D'Amore, Jeff
I
Jarrett.
think he needs to go through his entire roster and pretty much say, you know something? A lot of shit's going to change. Creative is going to change. And you're either with us or you're gone. And they just need to do a complete reset. And honestly, what I really want to happen, Tony Khan needs to put his ego to the side and go on camera and just own up to his shit and take accountability and apologize to not only the business, he needs to apologize to the fans.
And again, with fucking Scott and Jeff Jarrett in charge, before anybody says that I'm going back on what I said about active roster members, Young Bucks can still do this full time. Jeff Jarrett is very part-time from what I know. He doesn't really do shit like that. So he could easily ease into the Triple H role where he's part of creative and a producer for the most part. He can still kind of run matches if he really wants to, and he's not going to book biasly. So, he's not going to put himself in the main event like fucking Young Bucks do constantly.
Yeah, but one thing I will, as an AEW fan, I will defend is that there was no issues at first when we had the Young Bucks as EVPs, Kenny and Cody. There was no problems at all. AEW was doing some of the best stuff. I think when everything shit the bed, it was when Cody Rhodes left. And Tony Khan, Tony Khan really, I think Tony Khan took on more than he should have. Because I think Cody Rhodes was really the one running everything at the time. And the Young Bucks, they've always put people over. They've done their jobs as EVPs. The only time I say the Young Bucks were unprofessional had to be the all-out thing that happened between CM Punk and them. The whole brawl, the whole media scrum. Because even though CM Punk said, if anybody has a problem with me, you can come into my locker room and do something about it, it's because they had that job title of EVP where they should have just been professionals and not done a damn thing and not get into a big fight with CM Punk. Now, if they were just active members of the roster, by all means, they have the right to defend themselves. They do. But you're an EVP. You have to put your differences aside for the company, for the business. And that's the only time that I can really criticize the Young Bucks, because I think they've done an all right job as EVPs, but I think the problem is Tony Khan. It's literally Tony Khan, because he's running this shit. And I think if he just let the Elite fucking write the shows, I think they'd be a lot better than what Tony Khan's given us. Even though we do need somebody with actual experience. That's the best case scenario. But I will say, as a day one fan, I'd rather have Young Bucks and Kenny writing these shows than Tony Khan. Because according to PW Torch, I guess the whole thing that happened this past Wednesday with the footage was Tony Khan's decision 100%. And the Young Bucks weren't in favor of airing this footage out. But later on, when Tony Khan had his decision already made, the Young Bucks basically said, okay, just do it. And then they got the approval of FTR. FTR is just like, whatever, just do it. And with that mindset, that's what's fucking AEW up.
Yep.
And it's just unfortunate with this whole all-in footage. Like, I don't understand why you put this out there. Will Ospreay, I understand, defending himself, but why on live fucking television?
Here's the thing, though.
I want to hear your thoughts on Will Ospreay.
Do
You might want to put those glasses back on, probably.
Do you? Yeah, he's talented. Yeah, he logs the miles back and forth to the UK, by his own volition, whatever. But that's your choice. That's what's limiting you from being able to do the WWE dates, and you're the one that wanted the lighter schedule in the first place. And if I recall, when Triple H made those comments, I don't recall them being completely directed towards Will Ospreay.
There was no
I
names.
think he was speaking towards in general. If you were looking for a lighter schedule, automatically you're disqualified. That's all he was saying. And he took it so far up the ass, he had to look like a fucking bitch on live TV, made Renee Paquette feel dumb uncomfortable because she looked real uncomfortable. So score one, buddy, for the charm already on live TV. Tony Schiavone looked just gutted. Like,
that broke my heart. Because there's
So,
I don't know if you saw the picture back at Bash at the Beach 2000 when the Vince Russo thing happened with Hulk Hogan, his facial reaction. It reminded me of that.
So I'm gonna end what you want to know about Will Ospreay with this. Ricky, I know you don't tolerate Will Ospreay slander, but your boy couldn't handle WWE on his best day. Sorry. So I said it.
And I disagree with that, but I'm not going to go back and forth about that because that's not the issue here. What the issue is, Will Ospreay has a big pay-per-view match against Bryan Danielson in a couple weeks at AEW Dynasty, which I'm still contemplating if I'm going to do a watch-along or not. I don't think I'm going to because I don't want to give Tony Khan my money, at least for this one. I definitely will probably do double or nothing, but you should be promoting your match with Bryan Danielson. You should continue to try to sell that match to get people to want to watch it. But instead, you decide to make some comments on Triple H, which I will say, clever line. I'll give the bruv that. But
that worked 20 years ago. Not anymore.
Hold on a minute. No, that was a good line. He got the crowd going. He got people buzzing.
Because he's on the other show next.
Nope, I'm gonna give him that, but WWE and Triple H. When Triple H made these comments, it wasn't on WWE television. It was on a fucking podcast. So why the hell is Will Ospreay going on TV when he should be on TV promoting his rivalry with Bryan Danielson, but instead you're making these comments to Triple H? Why couldn't you do that outside of AEW TV? You should have went on a podcast and expressed your frustrations, but instead you go on TV and you make the company look bad. You're supposed to try to sell AEW Dynasty, this big match, but instead, you're kind of going to business for yourself. And I love Will Ospreay. I think he's one of the greatest to ever step foot in a squared circle in this generation. But what the fuck are we doing?
To cement that in your legacy now. To make dumb fucking comments. Like, way to cement that in your legacy. Good going, bud. Now you're going to be known as that dude.
And think about it. You're making these stupid fucking comments for somebody that really doesn't have the best interest in AEW. Cough, cough, Tony Khan. And now you might have closed that door for a WWE run once your contract's up in AEW. Because I thought that was the direction we were going in with Will Ospreay. He was going to use AEW as a stepping stool. And he was just going to have a legendary run, which I still think he's going to. Because AEW, like it or not, they're not going anywhere yet. Tony Khan, as long as he's fucking blowing his money, they're still going to be around. But Will Ospreay to WWE might not happen now with this mindset, and it's pretty sad.
That's fine.
But overall, I just think that AEW, it's not looking good. It's really not looking good. And these stars that have been in the business for years, like I said, they need to take a stand. They need to... I don't got anything else to say, I don't think.
Same. It's just like I said, it's like beating a dead horse, bro.
Pretty much. I'm just hurt. I'm disappointed.
Like I told you on the fucking chat the other night, you can only shoot yourself so many times until you bleed out.
Yeah, man, I'm still going to try. I'm still going to try to watch AEW, but I just...
Try to enjoy it while you watch it, though.
Exactly. And if I'm not enjoying something, I'm not going to watch it. It'll be next channel. So to the We Are Wrestling Maniacs that do tune into my reactions, if there's not a lot of AEW, you know why. You know why. You can blame Tony Khan for that.
Blame the blue sticky tape on his hat.
Yep, I did. I couldn't find any. Like, I was gonna put duct tape on the hat, but
it would have ruined it.
Yeah, but I was trying to look. I was trying to look to fucking ruin it. I'm keeping this X on here until something happens.
At least the painter's tape comes off easily and won't leave any lasting damages.
Yeah, that's pretty true. But I'm gonna take this hat off when we go to close this fucking episode with a better hat,
bro. Yeah.
With a better hat, which is limited edition. You can go get it. The link down in the description below. They're very limited. But to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there, let us know in the comment section below your thoughts on all the things we talked about this week. What a huge... Man, this
episode after Mania.
Episode... Wait, what was it that you said a few minutes ago? About, it's like, what, the podcast after Mania or something?
Yeah, podcast after Mania, yeah.
Well, this might be a new thing because this was a huge episode and definitely filled with a lot of juicy things. So let us know your thoughts on all the things we talked about. If you enjoyed this week's episode of the podcast, me and Ben pretty much bitching about AEW, smash that like button now. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already and you're listening to this podcast, give us a 5-star review, not just any review, a best one review, and download the episode. And go follow us as well on whatever you're listening to us on. Really helps us. And if you have stayed throughout this entire episode, kudos to you. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, over on the YouTube channel, where you can get the best pro wrestling content, including live watch-alongs. Subscribe, turn on the post notifications, because, oh man, we got lots of awesome content ready to come out for you guys. The link's down in the description below. You can go follow Ben and I over on our social medias and other YouTube pages. All that down below. And of course, to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, we are taking over. Peace.